Good afternoon and welcome to our 18th International Chefs Day.
Mayuri, just wait. Mr. Raghavendra asked you to wait now. Just wait for a minute.
Okay. Please continue, unmute yourself and please. Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to our 18th International Chefs Day celebration. Good afternoon and welcome to our 18th International Chefs Day celebration at Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration, Manipal. My name is Mayuri Reddy and I'm a third-year culinary arts student. I will be your MC for the day. I request everybody to keep their phones on silent and their mics muted. The event is being streamed live on YouTube and the link will be posted in the chat box for your access. As always, before starting something auspicious, we would like to start with an invocation song. I would request the AV team to play the invocation song.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Thank you, AV team. International Chefs Day is conducted every year on the 20th of October. This day aims to celebrate and honor chefs around the world and for experienced chefs to pass on their knowledge and culinary skills to the next generation with a sense of pride and commitment. At WGSHA, we celebrate every International Chefs Day grandly. While the rest of the world was reeling under the pandemic the previous year, WGSHA celebrated International Chefs Day 2020 by inviting 6 of our alumni lady chefs and Chef Manisha Bhasin as our chief guest. The theme for last year was Healthy Food for the Future, which the governing bodies of World Association of Chef Societies and Indian Federation of Culinary Associations plan to continue for this year too, since many chefs could not celebrate International Chefs Day 2020. WGSHA has adopted the same theme with a slight modification to make it more relevant to the present scenario. The theme for International Chefs Day 2021 at WGSHA is Looking Back at Ancient Wisdom to Move Forward in the Future. Despite our busy schedule and various setbacks due to the pandemic, we have conducted various competitions for the students to showcase their skills, like healthy desserts for the future, healthy breads for the future, one-pot meals from a healthy perspective, sub-regional foods, a trend for the future, and the Culinary Quiz 2021. This year, we are celebrating International Chefs Day in memory of late Dr. Chef Soundararajan Palaniyappan, who was the General Secretary of Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. Chef was a great support to our college and helped us immensely. I will now request the AV team to play a video in tribute of late Dr. Chef Soundararajan Palaniyappan.
Chef V. Soundararajan was implicitly a leader in the field of gastronomy and culinary education. He was a culinarian and mentor, founder of Culinary Vision, founder General Secretary of the Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. Chef Soundararajan began his journey in the culinary field when he graduated from IHM Chennai. He has an honorary doctorate from Yale University in hospitality management. Chef held the position of corporate executive chef at Club Mahindra Holidays and Resorts since 1997. Chef is a recipient of the National Award as the Best Chef of India from the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India.
History of knives dates back to humans collecting various sharp stone tools. Then it has evolved into ivory, glass, and horns.
He is the second Indian to receive honorary membership into the World Chef Association. He represented India at the Asia Pacific Forum in Australia. He has also got an award from FSSAI, the Ministry of Health, for promoting Eat Right movement. Chef also holds the Guinness Book of Records for catering at a restaurant at the highest altitude on the earth. He has trained thousands of chefs and food service industry professionals, including some of the most prominent chefs in the country. In the year 2016, Chef Soundararajan graced us with his presence on International Chef's Day at WGSHA. His words were always inspiring for the students and motivated them to strive for the best. He was one of the most sought-after chefs for mentorship and guidance. His words were precious and brought joy to his listeners. His undying love for the culinary world and his contributions will always stay with us. We salute Chef with great respect and honor for his work and dedication to his craft. Ladies and gentlemen, let us join to pay tribute to late Chef P. Soundararajan.
Thank you, AV team, for that wonderful tribute. Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration is a collaboration between ITC Hotels and Manipal Academy of Higher Education. We are proud and grateful to our management for all their support and facilities, which makes WGSHA what it is today. WGSHA has always been in the forefront of national and international rankings due to its excellent infrastructure, faculty, students, and alumni network. Also, WGSHA has various accreditations from national level bodies like Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, India International Skills Center, and global accreditations from World Association of Chef Societies, Hotel Schools of Distinction, and has even featured in the Limca Book of Records for India's first culinary arts museum. We would now like to take you through a virtual tour of WGSHA.
Established in 1986, the Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration is a constituent institution of the Manipal Academy of Higher Education and was the first institute to have an industry-academia collaboration with the Hotels Division of ITC Limited. WGSHA has been ranked number 1 as Supreme Hotel Management Institute in India by GHRDC Hotel Management Institute Survey 2021 and consecutively since 2007. Number 2 among the best hotel management colleges in India by India Today Group MDRA Best Colleges Ranking 2021. Number 2 among top hotel management colleges in India by the Week Hansa Research Best Colleges Survey 2021. Number 1 among the India's top hotel management colleges private in Outlook ICARE Hotel Management Colleges Survey 2021. WGSHA is accredited by the apex body for chefs in the world, World Association of Chefs Societies, and also accredited by Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. WGSHA is the first and only hospitality school in Asia Pacific region to be accredited by Hotel Schools of Distinction USA. The college has also been accredited by India International Skills Center and is certified by Food Safety and Standards Authority of India as a licensed food business operator. With 5 varying courses including undergraduate programs such as Bachelor's in Hotel Management, BA in Culinary Arts, and postgraduate programs such as MSc in Dietetics and Applied Nutrition, Master of Hotel Management, and MA in Indian Cuisine and Food Culture. WGSHA provides its students with an objective-based educative curriculum coupled with world-class infrastructure and state-of-the-art facilities and resources unlike any other college. We at WGSHA aim to embark our students on a journey with the hands-on knowledge and practical experience they need to become leaders of the hospitality industry. After over 3 decades of producing the industry's best, WGSHA has created an enormous network of alumni who proudly carry the WGSHA badge on their name all around the world. Join us on this virtual journey where we show you what your college life can look like the WGSHA way. Walking into the WGSHA building through the iconic grand staircase, you enter through a double-door entrance to our lobby. Standing in front of you are walls of memories and inspiration as we proudly showcase our gold medalists over the years. To the right is our college boardroom, which is equipped with audio and visual facilities ideal for any interactive meetings and discussions. Classrooms. WGSHA believes in providing top-of-the-line facilities to all our students. This is reflected by the classrooms, lecture halls and tutor rooms, which are fully furnished with state-of-the-art technology, making them at par with the standards set by the world's leading hospitality institutes. Library. The college provides the facility of 2 well-equipped libraries, both of which are impressive research facilities, enabling a calm, quiet and serene environment for students to focus on their coursework. The libraries are well-equipped with books of different disciplines, wide range of reference books, national and international periodicals, journals, magazines, and an immense pool of research work by eminent scholars. The libraries also have an array of 12 computer terminals and intranet websites through which students can access online databases, journals, and catalogs anywhere in the campus using Wi-Fi connectivity. Computer Lab. The impressive computer laboratory at WGSHA hosts more than 30 computer terminals, each of which have access to online journals, study material, and learning platforms. Apart from having the ability to inculcate technical skills in students, it also features access to the online property management system Opera, with each individual having the facility to practice the software on their own. Front Office. Welcome to the Front Office Training Lab. This Front Office Lab is used for all practical classes relating to the subject, be it simulations, role plays, or even hands-on learning with hotel softwares. Students learn to act like front office staff and practice interactions with guests. At the Front Office Lab, students get a hands-on practice on property management system softwares so that they are ready to perform and impress as soon as they walk into the industry. Front Office doesn't just end there. Students also get additional inputs on revenue management and sales and marketing skills. Food production. Being one of the 4 core departments of the hospitality industry and 2 of our specialization courses, we at WGSHA have state-of-the-art kitchens and labs to facilitate our students' passion and to teach them the techniques of food production. We at WGSHA follow a continuous evaluation process, just like in the hospitality industry. Your performance yesterday does not ensure you the same today. We ensure that our students are always improving and performing to the best of their abilities every single day. These kitchens are home to cutting-edge equipment, tools and presentation crockery to take the food preparation and presentation that one might dream of in order to bring our culinarians' dream to life. Designed with all modern kitchen facilities, including the epoxy flooring as per industry requirements, different varieties of ovens to electric gas burners to chef demo screens to food photography equipment, we have it all. WGSHA houses 3 bakeries where students get hands-on basic bakery skills. The lab is equipped with the latest in cake making, ice cream churning, sugar work and chocolate making. F&B service. The objective at the Department of Food and Beverage Service is to teach and train students in the complete spectrum of theoretical and practical food service. These restaurants, namely Rendezvous, Chaya and Classic Cafe, are equipped for students to learn the basics of F&B service skills like setting the covers to full-fledged formal silver service. The Mock Bar, stocked with an extensive inventory of spirits and liquors from around the world, facilitates in learning of beverage and cocktail making. Our students acquire internationally recognized accreditation of their skills and knowledge from the city and guilds and learn to appreciate wines. Housekeeping. The housekeeping department is considered the backbone and the heart of the hotel. WGSHA houses 2 modern housekeeping laboratories. One laboratory is for hands-on experience of the entire room cleaning procedure. It is a mock guest room equipped with 2 twin beds, a powder room, and a bathroom to understand the nitty-gritty of how to clean and maintain guest rooms. Beyond these simulated environments is also affiliated to the Fortune Inn Valley View Hotel, where students get first-hand experience on how to clean guest rooms and hotel public areas. Hostels and dining. WGSHA provides excellent accommodation facilities with infrastructure for 10 hostel blocks, 7 for boys and 3 for girls. These are inclusive of air-conditioned room accommodation as well as non-AC, making it the perfect place for students to come back to and make their home away from home. Apart from this, the hostel mess also has adequate dining space for all hostel students. To ensure safety of the hostel residents, there are security guards on rounds throughout the day and night. Hostel premises is surrounded by a beautifully manicured spice, vegetable and fruit garden, where students are encouraged to learn the art of cultivating organic produce and healthy eating. Culinary Museum. WGSHA entered Limca Book of Records for its first living culinary arts museum in India, endowed by our very own alumnus, Chef Vikas Khanna. The museum is filled with antique culinary equipment used throughout the history of India. The idea of the Culinary Museum is to educate the future generations about India's vivid culinary history. These tools give an in-depth view of how the culinary landscape has evolved in the country, showing us the influence of technology in modern machinery and how easy it has made lives for chefs all over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of undying hospitality, WGSHA.
Thank you very much, AV team. I would now like to invite our respected principal, Chef K. Tirugnana Sambantam, to share his thoughts with us.
Thank you, Mayuri. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you a very happy International Chef's Day. International Chef's Day have been a tradition at WGSHA, and for the past 18 years, commemorating this occasion, we have been passionately conducting various internal culinary competitions, conferences, and panel discussions for our students. This gives them an opportunity to learn contemporary knowledge from eminent speakers and create their own networks. I am very thankful to Chef Manjit Singhal, President, Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, for accepting our invitation to be our chief guest today. And also, I thank Chef Vijay Bhaskaran, General Secretary, Indian Federation of Culinary Association, for accepting our invitation to be our guest of honor. Other eminent panel members who have been joining us, sparing their valuable time: Chef YB Mathur, Executive Director, Institute of Culinary Economics; Chef Ramesh Jawaji, Senior Chef, Mentor, Shalom; Ms. C.A. Sujata Shukla Rajan, Chartered Accountant, Chronicler and author; Ms. Anushruti, Food Writer, Health and Wellbeing Consultant; Chef Sri Bala, author, Guest Chef, Chennai; and Dr. Ashish Chopra, traveler, writer, television host, and painter. On behalf of ITC and MAHE leadership team, I welcome our chief guest, guest of honor, and eminent panel members to the special International Chef's Day celebrations 2021. We would be delighted to listen to the panel members on our theme this year, looking back at ancient wisdom to move forward in future. This year, Team WGSHA is dedicating International Chef's Day celebration to the late Dr. Chef Soundarajan, founder, former secretary, Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. His commitment and passion towards our field of culinary, it's priceless. He will always inspire the young minds, and we will fondly remember him always for his splendid contribution to the culinary education. Dear students, every activity undertaken by WGSHA has always focused on student-centric learning. The topic for this year, International Chefs Day 2021, is fascinating. We should be proud of our great nation and its diversity. Our cuisines are equally vast, diverse, and rich in its culture and traditions. Due to various reasons, we have forgotten our roots and some of the best practices followed in our cuisine and culture. We are the only one country with so many regional, sub-regional, micro cuisines and temple cuisines too. Each cuisine has its own specialities. Our ancestors guided us well on our, tried and tested dietary practices. We are often tempted and get attracted to some of the culinary practices followed in the West. For example, fermentation. Our ancestors have introduced fermentation to us 8,000 years ago. Traditional Indian food have been prepared for many years, and the preparation varies greatly across the country. Traditional wisdom about handling of food, its preservative techniques, and their therapeutic effects, and have been established for many generations in India. Food system can deliver numerous biological functions through their dietary components in the human body. Indian traditional foods are also recognized as functional foods because of the presence of functional components such as body healing, chemicals, antioxidants, dietary fibers, and probiotics. These functional molecules help in weight management and blood sugar level balance and support immunity of the body. The functional properties of foods are further enhanced by processing techniques such as sprouting, malting, and fermentation. For example, idli. In 1485 and 1600 CE, idli was compared to the moon, which suggested that rice was in use. Use of rice along with pulses is necessary as a source of mixed natural microflora needed for efficient fermentation. The major microorganism involved in the leavening process are heterofermentive lactic acid bacterium, Lactobacillus mesenteroides. The acidity of the batter is regulated by homofermentive lactic acid bacterium, Streptococcus faecalis. In addition to these, probiotic microorganisms such as Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus lactis also present in idli batter. These microorganisms can produce vitamin B12 and B-galactosidase enzymes, which enhance the probiotic activities, promotes health. Dear students, I just gave an example with idli, which can provide so much of health benefits. As a future leader of our industry, it is time for all of you to pledge that we will create awareness on Indian food and their health benefits among our friends, family, and well-wishers. Let us make our nation healthy and prosperous. I am equally excited to listen to our chief guest of honor, and the eminent panel members. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for being with us this afternoon. Have a very happy International Chefs Day. Jai Hind. Over to you, Mayuri.
Thank you very much, Chef, for your insightful remarks. We will surely keep all that you have said in mind. I would now like to invite Rijul to introduce our chief guest for the day, Chef Manjeet Singh Gill.
Thank you, Mayuri. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rijul Bose, final year culinary arts student, and with great pleasure and honor, let me introduce to you our chief guest of the day, Chef Manjeet Singh Gill, President, Indian Federation of Culinary Association, IFCA. As the former corporate chef of ITC Hotels, his knowledge and experience comes from 4 decades of work in pioneering world-class restaurants, curating traditional Indian food, and drawing on nation's culinary diversity, bringing unmatched fame to concept restaurants like Bukhara, Damphuk, Dakshin, Royal Vega, and Kebab and Curry. Chef Gill had the privilege of serving eminent world leaders like former American presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush. Chef had the unforgettable opportunity of being invited to cook for Prince Charles and Lady Diana at the Palace of Maharaja of Jaipur. Chef had founded the first National Chefs Forum in Delhi, which later got the recognition of Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, IFCA. He also brought honor to our nation to get India membership of 100-year-old World Apex Body of Chefs, World Association of Chefs Society. Chef was the first Indian bestowed with the exclusive honorary membership of World Chefs. He has recently been appointed as the chairman of the World Chefs Committee on Cultural Heritage and Ethnic Cuisine. He is author of book titles Eating Wisely and Well, Indian Spa Cuisine, and Fire, Water, Earth, Air, Ether, Secrets of Indian Gastronomy. In 2007, the Ministry of Tourism decorated Chef Gill with the highest honor in hospitality profession, the Lifetime Achievement Award, a first for a chef in India. Chef was also awarded the prestigious Escoffier Medal in 2019 by World Chefs. Chef Gill's relentless efforts for last couple of decades has brought pride on their own food to Indians. His mission is to teach the art of culinary as a way of giving back to the society. Let us welcome Chef Manjeet Singh Gill with a big round of applause.
Thank you very much for your kind words. And I must, before I must wish everyone over there and the chefs a very happy International Chefs Day. And because this seminar is dedicated to Chef Soundarajan, I must tell you that along with Chef Soundarajan, I was also there when we went for the to get the national membership for India in Dublin, Ireland. And there we did the presentations and all that. And incidentally, you know, the International Chef of the Year also started the same day, the day we also got the membership for the World Chefs. So it's a quite good relationship we have, you know, with the International Chefs Day, that our membership and the International Chef Day in the same year it started. And there's a great contribution of Chef Soundarajan. Wherever we are today, I must tell you that the main credit goes to Chef Soundarajan. I am just, you know, be part of him or with him to be a part. But his work, his contribution to take the India in the culinary scene to a world map. And I can tell you that today we all are sitting here and celebrating the International Chef's Day is all because of him. That he's taken the lead, he started, it took me also along with him, and we have reached and we are seeing that every year our benchmark or the level in the world gastronomy is going up and up. And I wish that one day India will be at top of the world. Second, the principal has, you know, defined or explained our food so well. I never heard, you know, before this so comprehensively as put the Indian food and the goodness of the Indian food so well. And I think my compliments to you, Thiru, to putting these things and to tell the whole world. This is what I say, that our food is so good. Our food is based on a scientific reason. There are scientific reasons for every goodness what we have in our food. Only thing is we have to first discover and learn and then disseminate the whole world about our food and our science of food. Because it is not a dog. It is not just put the things together. Like I always say, I say very loudly, there can be a research done. Is the food served in the courses is scientific? Is there any science behind it? Or the serving food in the Indian way, that the whole food at one time in front of you, in a thali or whichever way, and you consume the food the way you like to do it, and you finish the food at one time. What is scientific in it? Is the course is scientific, or the service of this style is scientific? This is the biggest which we are going wrong in our food, is that we cook food into our tradition. We like to cook food into our tradition, but we serve in a market, I'm saying, in a food and beverage market in a Western style. This is where we are, according to me, this is where 100% we are going wrong with our cuisine, and for people to understand our cuisine. I think there has to be a research, there has to be work done on this, and we have to have some, I'm saying we must do scientifically find out. We must have empirical data on this, that, and we all have to work. I'm not saying I'm part of this, your work will be, and we must tell the whole world that the consuming the food Indian way is the best way of consuming the food. And I've seen these things and noticed these things in few countries in Central Asia, somewhere, they don't, in the traditional way, they don't follow the Western way. They follow their own style of serving the food. So every cuisine, when they cook, when it's a cuisine, it's a cooking and the serving combined together is a cuisine. So we must work on that. I think that will be a great help or further teaching to down the line to the people, and to tell the whole world also that how we are different and how we are scientifically more healthier food we have. Like you were talking about the functional food, it's very important to have all the nutrients to have a food healthier. The elimination of nutrients, we are only hearing last 15, 20 years that the carbohydrate-less food, protein-less food, or fat-less food. How can you remove any nutrient, which is a functional nutrient, which is an important nutrient, is a macronutrient? How can you remove from the food? And somewhere these things are not establishing well, they're changing. And I think this is as a college, as a universities all over India, where they're concerned with the gastronomy, must work on this. And the first thing I like to do is the food served in the courses is healthier, or which is the healthier way of serving the food. It's just a food for thought. Because the International Chef's Day, and I think it's a great day. And chef's happiness is found in every step of his, the practice or the job he does, that the chef feel very happy when they make the tasty food and the people enjoy it. So it's important for us to make tasty food well presentable. Chef's happiness is creating food by sustainable food, environment-friendly food. That gives a lot of happiness to the chef and does that. Environments are also clean. Chef gets happiness by harmony with pleasant, cooking the food in a pleasant environment, in a peaceful, pleasant environment. No loud, no noise, and all those things should not happen in our system. Chef gets happiness cooking and nutritional food, and will give nutrient to the people. And the people feel happy when they feel good for the food, and we also feel happy. Happiness, spending time with the farmers. Chef gets a lot of happiness when they spend time with the farmers. They get a lot of knowledge from the farmers, about the food which they are cooking. There are a lot of characteristics about the food which they come to know for the farmers, and spending time at the farm, and you understand the seasonal and the local food, how important it is, we all know it. But that gives a lot of happiness when you understand the food, seasonal food, and how they grow the seasonal food. That's very important. And And talking to the people, the chef get great happiness by sharing their knowledge, demonstrating their skills to the people, and that creates a lot of happiness to the people also. So our job is, our profession is, which is full of happiness, and we can create a lot of happiness for the mankind. So that's why I take the food chef, International Chefs Day with a lot of happiness. And now as we change the word chef, keep changing the theme. And this year, every time the theme is revolving around health and the future. And the good food of this year also is a healthy food for the healthy future. Future can only be good if we are healthy or our next generation is healthy. And after the pandemic, there were a lot of thoughts used to be this in the mind, but it was very difficult. Somewhere the chefs were not together, or somewhere the diners were not ready to listen so much. But now I think somewhere, don't take me wrong, I think this pandemic is a blessing in disguise as far as our profession is concerned, who are true to their profession. It is a blessing in disguise. Now, what we wanted to tell about food to the people are ready to listen about it. People are ready to understand about that food. Before that, people used to know, or even the chefs also, some of the chefs, were they know we have to make only the food, we don't care what happens, this and that. Now, I think the whole scenario is changed. Things have changed now. And after the pandemic, now people are demanding about I have a lot of questions about your food. People are demanding about the freshness of the food, seasonality of the food, the hygienic environments about the food. And I think it is a great opportunity for the chefs to really put their profession, put their cooking in a very right way to the people. And as things are changing, the people are concerned now where the food is grown, where the food is coming. They are not, now people are not bothered about the brand. They're asking these questions to the big brand also. Tell us about the food, or where the food is sourced, where it's coming. And we are eating it, and we don't want to eat the food put it into our stomach and become part of our body, and without knowing from where it is coming, from where it is sourced. So the chefs also has to, it's good for the chefs, and the chefs will become more creative even. Like in between, a lot of dependency came on the brand products in the cooking, but now there'll be a lot of dependency, or you have to become more creative with that seasonal food, fresh foods, diverse foods, and with that will make even the chef more creative and make the chef more skillful, because he has to talk about cooking. And people are interested to understand, has questions about the food and about the cooking also. It is not only quality of the cooking, that how you are doing the cooking. So these things will make our profession much more ethical, much more truthful, and which will be able to use, because our food is based on heritage, legacy, science, and everything, is a great knowledge. We'll be able to talk about food and our traditional practices much better, much clearer to the people. And people, I'm sure, people will love it. And nowadays, the transparency is very, very important. We have to talk about, as I said before, about the transparency into the food. We must tell the people, that how we are taking care of the food, and which will affect your food and give the wellness to you. That's very, very important now to talk all these things to the people. And I believe I said the customer will a lot of questions, and we should be very happily with the knowledge, must answer them. The questions, the better we answer, the better knowledge and skillful answers we give, the more the trust diners, the consumer will have on the chef. And more permanent their customer, their business, everything will improve if we are transparent and we are able to answer the people, the questions they have on the food and on the cooking. And this definitely, it is our responsibility of the senior chefs to give inputs to the young chefs, as the younger chefs' responsibility also now to satisfy the future generations who are coming as a consumer or as a guest on the demand of the food. It's our responsibility down the line that we have to work and fulfill it. And as I always said, which is mostly, that my kitchen is a mystical place, is a kind of temple for me. It is a place where the surfaces seems to have significance, where sounds and odor, tastes and feelings carry meaning that transfer me from the past and takes me to the future. Now, going into the future doesn't mean forgetting the tradition. Of course, technology must come in. We must work our traditions with the accepting the technology also, so that our food consistency, our food can be cooked with the which gives the same taste and the consistency to the people, and if productions can be done more economical as a business also, it is more viable. And I close my time. I again wish all the students, all the chefs, best in their career and in their life, and wish them very happy International Chef's Day once again. Namaskar.
Good afternoon. My name is Kartika Kalyanpur, and I'm a third-year culinary arts student. And it's my honor to summarize Chef Manjeet Singh Gill's speech. So he started by introducing an interesting research topic of how whether the Indian way of serving food would be more scientifically justified than the Western way, which I think a lot of us should think about. Next, he moved on to talking about where chefs find their happiness from, which is by serving delicious food, which is also nutritionally backed, as well as spending time with farmers and learning about how ingredients are grown and what goes into curating menus or finding ingredients. The next, he moved on to talking about how the pandemic has changed the view of customers in pertaining to the food that they're eating, where now customers have gained a little knowledge over the time and are now questioning where their food comes from, and are also interested to know more about the history of the food they're eating. This way, the chefs can also showcase their theoretical knowledge along with their practical knowledge, which is a good move ahead for us as chefs in the long run. Sir also ended his talk by talking about how a kitchen is a temple for the chefs. Thank you, Chef, for giving us an insightful talk. I would request Mayuri to take over now. Thank you.
Thank you, Kartika. Thank you, Chef Manjeet. This was a very, very wonderful, insightful session that we have a lot to think about after this. I would now like to request everybody to turn on their cameras for a group picture, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I now request Vitesh to introduce our next speaker, Chef Vijay Bhaskaran.
Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Vitesh Topiwala, a final year hotel management student. I would like to introduce a personality who has around 4 decades of experience as executive chef in leading hotel companies. He is an eminent part of Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, and he is actively involved in events. Chef also has represented India in Asia Pacific Forum of Chefs in Bangkok, and he was also a judge at Bocuse d'Or Asia in Shanghai. Co-founder and director of Everything Recycled Limited, a socially responsible, innovative startup. Currently, he is a chef at Olam Food Ingredients at the Global Innovation Center, Bangalore, an alumnus of Sainik School and a 1982 gold medalist from ISM Chennai. He had an honorable experience catering for India's Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi. Chef has received the following awards from Indian Federation of Culinary Associations: a National Culinary Award, Culinary Leadership Award, Chef of the Year. Chef also has received Golden Hat Award from South India Culinary Associations. He is also wax certified chef by World Associations of Chefs Society. Currently, Chef holds the position of General Secretary at Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. Please welcome today's guest of honor, Chef Vijay Bhaskaran, with a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. International Chef's Day celebration is a unique opportunity for all the chefs community and all the community to make a difference in your local community by making healthy eating fun and exciting for children. This was the theme last year also. This is the theme this year also. Unfortunately, due to pandemic, we are not able to go to the schools and do a demo of the food which can be healthy as well as interesting and making eating fun. But I'm very happy. I must commend Chef Thiru and Vaksa for taking over and doing an online program and trying to motivate. And then as and when time improves, we'll also reach the schools and continue doing this program. You also must be aware a little bit how the International Chef's Day came into being, because it was pioneered by the legendary chef Billy Gallagher. So I'll also talk about him a little bit later. So he is the pioneer. He is the reason for us to celebrate the International Chef's Day. The Indian Federation of Culinary Associations and the World Chefs are committed to using the International Chef's Day to educate people and to carry on the good message to the people so that they practice in their daily life. Over the past year, as Chef Gill said, we have faced unprecedented challenges, and now we know to look after ourselves better. In the last 1 year or 1.5 years, we have learned ourselves. We ask many questions. We are more worried about our health and immune system. In a way, it's very, very good, as Chef Gill said, because it is, if we are not going to do that, it is going to result in massive consequences for our planet. And leaving behind a healthy planet is our duty. In fact, our company tagline always says, we want to leave the world better than we found it. So when we are about to leave the world, at least leave in a better manner. And I'm lucky that I have worked for 4 decades in the hospitality industry. Now I'm working in a company which works closely with the farmers. I know we make a difference in farmers' life all across the world every day, and it gives you a heady feeling when you do that. So sustainability is not only just on the name or on the paper, it also makes a lot of business sense to be sustainable. The moment you're sustainable, you're also going to be profitable. Remember that. So that's one learning, which is a big learning. For example, in our company, we know everybody has coffee and everybody is using the coffee berries from the coffee plant. So we are investing a lot of research and development to see how we can use the leaves of the coffee plant, how it can be put to use for consumption. Otherwise, coffee leaves are going to be a waste. So this is one, and we have invested quite a bit in the research and development. And we are, soon you may find people having coffee leaves. That's called cascara now. So you may see. So you can make a difference in life of people. You can make a difference in being sustainable. So I want to pick up on 2-3 points what Chef Billy Gallagher in one of his interviews said. He was asked what advice you'll give to the young chefs entering the industry today. I think he spoke many years back, but then it is very, very relevant even today. The industry has changed quite a lot since he was an apprentice, but chefs can still benefit from the same basic advice. Kitchens are high stress, pressured spaces. People lose their temper, but don't take it personally. There is no time for mistakes, so never be afraid to ask questions if you don't know anything. Accept that learning is not always easy, but sometimes you have to put up with some trouble along the way. So this message I want to give it to the students. Things have improved quite a bit. I also have another message for the students from my side. When you are in the industry, you may not have liked something being done to you. You may not have liked the way certain person behaved with you or certain chef treated you in this way. When you are in a position, when you become an executive chef or when you become a sous chef or when you don't do it. Don't do it. You change the world. So everybody has got a tool in his hand to change the world. So you change it. So I also don't know, I'm not aware whether you people are aware that Chef Billy Gallagher was also involved in an accident, in a kind of hijacking incident, where he was shot and he became a quadriplegic, like both his arms and both his legs were not functional. So he was always in a wheelchair. But then he was so inspirational. He was so somebody in a wheelchair could organize a World Chef's Day. So, you take the inspiration from there. And it's okay. He said sometimes it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. You will make progress. You will surely be this thing. So even if you are physically challenged, it's not going to be stopping you from being a chef. I'll also take this opportunity to talk a bit about my dear friend, Chef Soundarajan. So I also want to tell that we went to the hotel management college together. We were classmates. We studied together. So I know him for more than 40 years. Even during the college days, he was always a true inspirational leader. Even as a student, teachers used to listen to him because he used to organize the food festivals and the festival which was called Catafit those days. So we could see an inspirational leader in Soundarajan even in the college days. So even the teachers used to come and approach Soundarajan. So he was such an inspirational leader. Words and time may not be enough to speak about him. So we miss him dearly, but I'm very sure IFCA will carry forward because he has built a strong base for the Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, along with, of course, our chief mentor, Chef Gill. They've built a very strong foundation and strong base. I'm very sure we can build more on that strong base and foundation. So just I want to tell the students a little bit about the Indian Federation of Culinary Associations. It's an independent, apolitical, non-religious and voluntary organization of culinary professionals. IFCA was formed with the idea of developing culinary profession and to promote Indian cuisine on the global platform. IFCA is a forum dedicated to connect culinary professionals across the geography of India with people and places with the knowledge they need to succeed. We are also recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. We are also recognized by the World Chefs. We also closely work with many government bodies, including FSSAI, where we do a lot of programs, educating, certifying, and giving the inputs to keep the food that they serve safe and healthy. We are also a strong member in the networking of associations called NetProfan, where many institutions like Indian Public Health Association, Nutrition Society of India, AFSTI, Indian Medical Association, Indian Dietetic Association, and AOAC, all are members of this association. So we network across all professions and we share knowledge and share our best practices. And we also do events all across to carry this message of healthy and safe eating to all the public of India. So we also are actively participating in promoting the International Year of Millets, which is in 2023. So we are also trying to organize a book with the Indian Institute of Millet Research that's based out of Hyderabad. Chef Gill was actually participated in the event last month, and he was also bestowed a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Indian Institute of Millet Research there in Hyderabad. So I would also request the students, the faculty of Baksa to contribute to this book. Please contact IFCA at ifcaindia.com for more information about this. This is a unique opportunity to showcase your cuisine, to your skill in a form of a book which will reach across the world in 2023. We also do a lot of events. We also do National Congress. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we are unable to do it now. But as and when time comes for people meeting across the table, we'll surely do it. We also participate in, we also do Young Chefs Conference. We're looking forward to doing one. We also send the candidates to Bocuse d'Or. We also do a lot of competitions. We work with organizations like Indian Council of Agricultural Research. We also work with ISKCON to make the food nutritious for the children. We also participate actively in low salt challenge, which is again a much debated topic. How the salt is not in the right quantity is going to be dangerous to your health. So we also participate actively in low salt challenge. We also might be doing one for the institutions. I again request Thiru and WGSHA to participate in that low salt challenge, which we are doing especially for the institutions. I also want to bring up one interesting activity which we did for underprivileged girl children in the state of Jharkhand, that we collaborated with a college called the Kaushal College there with IIT alumni. So we also did a program by all the master chefs online to the students there. I know Chef Ramesh Jawaji is part of this, and Chef Gill himself had taken a class there. So we are enriching the students from the backward regions of the country to come into the mainstream. So we are also giving them the experience of interacting with experienced chefs. Another feather in the cap of IFCA, which Chef Gill spearheaded, was the World Heritage Summit, where we could actually showcase the Indian cuisine along with the other heritage of the world. So more than 40 countries taken part. I know many chefs who are participating here were part of that World Heritage Summit. So a little bit about Indian Federation of Culinary Association. I'm very happy to say that Chef Thiru and WGSHA have always been a great support and great partner in all the activities that we do from the IFCA. Please continue doing it. We look forward to more associations in future. I wish all the students and all the faculty, each and every member of the WGSHA, very happy International Chefs Day. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shreyas Ketan, and I am final year culinary arts student. And it is my absolute pleasure to summarize the Chef Vijay Bhaskaran's talk. Chef talked about how healthy eating in schools and how Billy Gallagher started International Chefs Day. Chef also talked about working with the farmers to understand the food better. Sustainability goes in hand with profitability. And he also talks about how coffee leaves can be used so that it does not go to waste. Making use of the entire coffee plant. Then Chef told about how Billy Gallagher's advice gives inspiration to the budding chefs. Like, don't take the pressure in the kitchen. Learning is not always easy, but take it up with a challenge. Change the world with food you want to serve. Even if you're physically challenged, you can become a chef. Nothing can let you down. Chef also told about how IFCA was founded to promote Indian cuisine. IFCA is also recognized by World of Chefs and Ministry of Tourism. IFCA also promotes Indian Institute of Millet book. Contact IFCA for non-informed after regarding the book. How IFCA also actively participate in low salt challenge, and how IFCA has also feather of World Heritage Summit when Indian cuisine was presented in grand manner. And now I request MAHE to introduce our next speaker, Ms. C.A. Sujata Shukla Rajan. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I am MAHE Dhanwani, final year student of Culinary Arts. With a great honor, I would like to introduce C.A. Sujata Shukla Rajan. She is chartered accountant by profession, culinary chronicler by passion. She is the author of Bhog Navedya, Food Offerings to the Gods, wherein she has explored the diverse food offerings to deities, food stories and mythology at some of India's most ancient and renowned temples. Ms. Sujata blogs at pepperpizza.com, Recipes Beyond Border, showcasing traditional regional Indian recipes, including almost forgotten ingredients from her native Tamils cuisine. She enjoys cooking, reading, researching on food, traveling, music, as well as she is grandmother to 3 amazing granddaughters who appreciate food and books as much she does. So, with a big round of applause, I invite Ms. Sujata.
Ladies and gentlemen, eminent members of the hospitality industry, including Chef Gill, Chef Vijay Bhaskar, eminent speakers and panelists here, Chef Thiru, alumni, faculty, and students of WGSHA. Between August 2019 to March 2020, I traveled across India to about 130 sacred sites from all faiths, temples, churches, dargahs, a couple of synagogues, community celebrations, etc., researching on food offerings to deities for my book, Bhog Naivedya. Many of the temples I visited are ancient and are said to have been in existence during the Bhakti period of the 6th to 9th centuries CE, that is for over a millennium, as well as to have carried out rituals for puja and Naivedya, unbroken since that time. What ancient wisdom can we learn from these temples? Temples across India have one mantra when it comes to the ingredients they use in food offerings: buy local, buy seasonal, buy indigenous. The daily menu for the deity is flexible, depending on seasonal availability and freshness of produce. Only the best will do for the gods. Let us look at the rich and varied bhog at the Srinathji Krishna temple in Nathdwara in Rajasthan. A large variety of basic country vegetables are used in the main Rajbhog, depending on seasonal availability, and include falli, cluster beans, karela, kikode, which is spiny gourd, bhindi, brinjal, arbi, colocasia root, kaddu, white pumpkin, sweet potato, etc. In winter, there are special items to keep Srinathji warm. Ratalu, that is yam, goes into a chutney. For the Mangala Bhog in winter, Doodh or badam ka halwa is prepared from reduced thickened milk and almonds. On Krishna Paksha of Paush month, between January and February of the English calendar, a special offering is sakdi ki churma bati, again suitable for the cold climate. During summer, a number of bhog items are prepared from mangoes, including Manohar ka laddu with fresh aam rasa. Grains and lentils here show diversity: jowar, besan, sattu, wheat flour, mixtures of besan and atta, rice of different regional varieties, moong dal, chana dal, urad dal, several types of nuts and spices. Going down south to the Sri Ranganatha temple at Srirangam, near Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. The temple follows a similar pattern of local and seasonal ingredients. In this, the main Naivedyam of the day at around 1:30 p.m. includes what is called Kariyamaddu. This comprises at least 15 varieties of vegetables, all local, all country vegetables. This has to include every day a minimum of 5 types of vegetables from each specified category: chedi, kodi, maram, that is plants, creepers and climbers, and thirdly, trees. Rich diversity is built into the daily menu. The vegetables procured each day in this category include pushnikai or white pumpkin, varakai or raw banana, avarakai or broad beans, velarikai pinja, that is tender cucumber, etc., depending on availability. It does sound to me like a sourcing nightmare to have to find 15 varieties of vegetables every day, but just look at the diversity. At the Kanyakumari temple at the tip of India, the goddess is offered Naivedyam from seasonal produce, as well as a variety of lentils and local rice varieties: green gram, urad dal, moong dal, aval or beaten rice, coconut, the local large-sized cucumbers, ginger, raw banana, chene or yam, dried bananas of the local Rasavangi variety. These are all prominent in the Naivedya. In the Buddhist temples and monasteries in the Himalayan regions of northeastern Himachal, barley, the local cereal, is a prominent integrant in the food offerings, whether as a local grain or as broken dalia or ground into sattu flour. You get the picture. Everything served in the temples is fresh, seasonal, and local. Vilaiti or foreign vegetables and fruits, which came in at the time of the Columbian exchange, that is potato, carrot, beetroot, peas, capsicum, tomato, chilies, you won't usually find these in temple food. As temple cuisine follows the relevant Agama Shastra, which predated the Columbian exchange of the 15th and 16th century CE, it is natural that these foods were not known when these ingredients were specified in the sacred text. Today, when we talk of reducing the carbon footprint, sustainable eating, maintaining food taste and flavor through freshness, preservative-free food, we can see that these were practiced in temple cuisine for centuries. Of course, the practice of local and seasonal ingredients probably came about through expediency due to lack of an efficient transport system and of ways of preserving the freshness of food over distances and time. It just made sense to buy what was readily and easily available. I talked earlier about variety and diversity in the ingredients used in temple cuisine. In popular temples with heavy footfalls, such as the one to Lord Jagannath at Puri, very large volumes of ingredients are procured for the huge quantities of food prepared daily. The spices used are predominantly the local panchforan blend, usually sarson, that is black mustard, methi, jeera, that is cumin, saunf, that is fennel, and kalonji, nigella seeds. Further, there are several varieties of rice used for the preparation of chappan bhog of 56 items served daily to the deities. When I visited there in January 2020, it was interesting to learn that many of the farmers of the region have dedicated portions of land to grow produce solely for the temple, whether for sale or for donation. The temple therefore continues to have easy access to local and ancient varieties of grain and vegetables for preparing bhog. As a result, ancient rice varieties such as Sunakila continue to be cultivated and made use of not only in the temple, but in the surrounding regions, which is heartening at a time when we are all becoming aware of the many, many varieties of ancient grains which are lost or close to be forgotten. In several temples, the banana leaf is still popular for serving food to devotees, thereby maintaining hygiene and being comparatively inexpensive to use. Eco-friendly, doing away with the need to use chemical-based material for cleaning plates. Banana leaves are said to contain polyphenols, which could reduce the impact of various lifestyle diseases. And they, of course, add flavor to the food. Temple prasadam is often distributed in donnes or dry leaves, shaped into bowls or patravalli, and sometimes in lotus leaves, again being hygienic and eco-friendly. Offerings are made to the deities in silver vessels, and water is offered in silver or copper vessels, both of which are believed to be conducive to good health. The food offered to deities at each seva or time of the day is also worth discussing. The first offering for the day in most temples is early, often at dawn or as soon as worship commences, very light and simple, usually just milk and fruits or milk and dry fruits. At temples of Lord Krishna, this could be just fresh white, unsalted butter, either by itself or with mishri, that is rock candy, along with milk. The main or midday bhog usually comprises a number of items, which would be the kind we would have in a large thali for the cuisine of the region. At the Jyotirlinga Trimbakeshwar temple at Nashik, for instance, just see the bhog, the main bhog, dal chawal, 2 sabzis, 1 dry and 1 in gravy, kadhi or sometimes puri, sugar, rice, fulka, and kheer from rice, milk, and sugar. The food offering therefore can be considered a wholesome, balanced meal, which is what a thali essentially is. The last offering of the day is again usually light, sometimes milk or fruit, or in some cases, kheer or paisam. The offerings are made at regular timings every day, and therefore patterned into what is considered suitable for the time of the day and conducive to good digestion. Some deities also undergo a fast or a special diet for religious occasions such as Ekadasi. The Kashi Vishwanath temple at Varanasi, Lord Shiva is offered fruit and dry fruits and no cooked food on Ekadashi day every month. I don't have to point out to this audience that periodic fasting for cleansing of the system is again something which is popularly advocated for wellness. The cooking process and utensils used for temple foods are also in line with recently popular techniques such as slow cooking, as well as the move back towards a kind of utensils and processes our great-grandmothers used. Food offerings to the deities across temples in India is even today largely a steamed or boiled slow cooked process on firewood and on clay hearths. The utensils used are of traditional material, iron, copper, alloys such as bronze and brass, as well as earthenware. At the Puri Jagannath temple and the Anant Vasudev temples, both in Orissa, clay hearths are fueled by firewood and earthenware pots are used for preparation of the Mahaprasad. Here you can see the bhog being served at the bhog mandap at the Anant Vasudev temple. Offered, not served. The pots are arranged in two ways while cooking, lotus-shaped or in vertical columns, each of which has the effect of the bhog being cooked to perfection. The heat from firewood, as well as the nature of the vessels, enables slow cooking with even dissemination of heat to the entire surface. Grinding of spices is manual on stone mortars. Each of these factors go to help retain the flavors of the food and the nutrients too. I am not quite ready to throw away my food processor, but I have added various small stone mortar and pestle sets to my kitchen equipment for pounding spices, crushing garlic, making chutney. The difference in the flavor and texture of my pesto when I use a processor to when I hand grind it is unmistakable. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon. I'm Jyotsna Krishnan, a final year culinary arts student. I'll be summarizing CA Sujata Shukla Rajan's talk. Ms. Sujata had started by what ancient wisdom we can learn from Indian temples. She had also touched upon the elaborate chapan bhog that include many seasonal vegetables. She also touched upon the Ranganathan temple where the local and seasonal ingredients are used for cooking. She also spoke about Sri Bhagavati Amman Kanyakumari temple. Later, she had told us about the Buddhist temples where the local barley crops are being used for cooking. She had also mentioned that bilayati or foreign vegetables are not included where only indigenous ingredients are used. She also mentioned about the Jagannathan temple where the spices used such as a panch phoran for the cooking process. She also mentioned about the eco-friendly or hygienic materials like banana leaves, lotus leaves, and copper and silver bowls that were being used. She also spoke about the first and last offerings of the day in the temples. Lastly, she touched upon Sri Ananta Vasudev temple at Bhubaneswar in Odisha, where the bhog processes were being told. She also mentioned about the utensils being used for cooking and about the slow process cooking. Thank you, ma'am, for this speech today. We have learned a lot from you. Now I would request Vedanti to introduce our next speaker, Chef Yaduvansh Bahadur Mathur. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. My name is Vedanti, final year student Culinary Arts, and it is my honor to introduce Chef Yaduvansh Bahadur Mathur. Chef Yaduvansh Mathur is one of senior most chefs of the country. Chef Mathur is an alumnus of the Institute of Hotel Management, Catering and Nutrition located at Pusa, New Delhi. He was associated with ITC Limited and has more than 4 decades of experience in food production. For many years, Chef Y.B. Mathur was positioned as a regional chef at ITC Windsor, Bangalore. After his retirement from ITC as a senior executive chef, Chef Mathur has been actively involved in training and scaling activities in the industry. Chef Mathur has won many national and international awards in his career spanning over 43 years. He has been recognized by the industry in prestigious awards like Executive Chef of the Year, Golden Head Chef, Times Food Guide Awards, and many others. Chef Mathur has been featured in each of the 2 editions of the book 50 Master Chefs, India's Most Dynamic Food People. He is an acknowledged expert on economics of food production and is in the process of setting up a fresh business venture entitled Institute of Culinary Economics. He has written 2 valuable books, Culinary Economics and Culinary Terms to Benefit Quality Culinary Education. He is actively involved in the National Skill Movement, a Government of India initiative to skill 500 functionaries in hundreds of skills-related fields by 2022 through the National Skills Development Corporation. Let's welcome Chef Mathur with a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, dear students of WGSHA. Good afternoon, everybody. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be a part of WGSHA in any manner. As for this webinar today, it is like being at home for me. At the onset, I wish to thank Chef Thiru for having selected the excellent subject of today's webinar, looking back at ancient wisdom to move forward in the future. The subject directly relates to the umbrella theme, healthy food for the future, more so due to the devastating effects of the global pandemic. There are 2 parts to address today. The first part views ancient wisdom. I will talk to you about the Indian Ayurvedic system and Indian gastronomy. I will devote the second part of my address towards advisory to move forward in the future. So here goes. It is indeed true that we are what we eat. Looking back at ancient wisdom, one views the Indian Ayurvedic system as the ultimate art of holistic healing. Ayurveda is composed of Ayu, which means life, and Veda, which means science. 5 essential characteristics encapsulate the Indian Ayurvedic system. These are food in the form of a correct diet, selecting the right foods suiting an individual, the practice of proper cooking methods, the correct herbal medicines, lifestyles playing a vital role in healing. In essence, therefore, Ayurveda is the ancient science of healing that enhances longevity. Ayurveda healing is the study and understanding of foods that harm and those that heal an individual. How to cook foods properly, how to avoid food combinations that will create toxins in the body, and last one, disciplined lifestyles. Ayurvedic healing did not evolve in a few days, a few years. It originated more than 5,000 years back. It is information that is carefully gathered from centuries of day-to-day experience. It has proved to be the origin of all healing systems. The Ayurvedic science of food and diet is a rich compendium of comprehensive protocols built around the specific management of food, diet, and lifestyles. Adoption of the Ayurvedic protocols assures good health. The fundamentals on which the Ayurvedic system is based are essentially true for all ages. It is clear from whatever I have said so far is that food is medicine when rightly used. So what is the importance of Ayurvedic protocols when a human being is sick or under stress? The philosophy of Ayurveda teaches a series of systems characterized by balance and disorder, health and illness. The protocols support restoring and ring-fencing the human body, mind, and spirit, and increase awareness of food as a medicine. Sickness and stress are created by eating the wrong kind of food or an incorrect combination of foods. The Ayurvedic healing system encompasses the knowledge and practice of how nature heals through food and herbs. Herbs are very important to bring in a balance, increase awareness of food as a medicine. Problems intertwined with the stress and pressures of life can be handled through Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic herbs are also known to provide permanent relief from disease by removing metabolic toxins from the body. The inference from the system guides humans through recovery from illness through initiating suitable changes of one lifestyle, patterns, food, and analytic thinking. Ayurveda is therefore an impressive cleansing system during sickness and stress. Dear students, I will now talk about the well-established principles of Indian gastronomy built hundreds and thousands of years back. Indian cuisines are heritage cuisines. 5,000 years of unbroken Indian civilization draws sustenance from a land fed by rivers, guarded by mountains, three mighty seas, and oceans. The diversity of Indian regional cuisines are linked with cultural traditions, local availability, festivals and mountains, three mighty seas, and oceans. The diversity of Indian regional cuisines are linked with cultural traditions, local availability, festivals and festivities, history, sporting life of the region, and weather conditions. Just now we saw a presentation on temple foods of the country, and you must have noticed the sporting life of the region and the weather conditions and the local ingredient played a lot of roles. That's what I said, local availability. Intrinsically, the cuisines are health and wellness oriented. All these Indian cuisines are health and wellness oriented. I have come to the second part of my address now. As a chef, what are my advisories to move forward in future? The essence of whatever I have said just now acknowledges that we are all already blessed with ancient wisdom to identify healthy food. So how do we move forward towards the knowledge and consumption of healthy food in the future? My recommendations would be look at the world with a broad learning focus. Do not restrict your horizon. I'm addressing this to the students particularly. Second, understand the wise and practical Ayurvedic approach to food and health. Third, do not forget to include our heritage cuisines wherever possible. Indian gastronomy is based on sound and unwavering principles. Study the health and wellness activities of hotel groups and food ingredient businesses. For example, ITC hotels profess health and wellness for a customer through its culinary brands and Kaya Kalpa spas, its wellness centers. Another example is that of Dabur, an Ayurvedic ingredient-led food business. Dabur is synonymous with health and wellness through food, diet, and lifestyle management. Celebrate ingredients. Very important part of a chef's life is celebrating ingredients. So next I'm saying celebrate ingredients, primarily Indian ethnic and Ayurvedic herbal ingredients. Understand these. Use these appropriately in food. Consider introducing ancient Indian grains wherever possible. These grains are synonymous with health. You recall Chef Gill speaking about his lecture at a millet academy in Hyderabad. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Millets, other ancient grains are the need of the day, and you all must try to put these on the menus and take them forward. Next, Study the provenance of ingredients and terroir conditions of each ingredient carefully. Terroir conditions are slightly different from provenance. They include weather conditions, they include soil conditions, they include climatic conditions, they include height from the sea level. They're vertical, this is French word. Terroir is a French word. Apply adequate and continuous focus on research, development, and documentation of ingredients and cuisines. ITC Hotels is the most notable example of a research-focused approach to healthy cuisines. Plant-based proteins were the focus of the ancient food systems. The global food-led industry, ingredient manufacturers, food processors, and food retailers are turning their attention on the ancient Indian systems. They are spending billions of dollars on such initiatives and hope to capitalize on the plant-based initiatives through consumer acceptance and changes in their purchasing behavior. Never forget that ancient Indian food systems encouraged the protection of biodiversity and forestation, protected the localization of food ingredients, and 3, protected the use of seasonal ingredients. Know the customer of your business well. Know the customer of business well. It is our sacred duty to protect a customer's health and safeguard his tummy. We can serve the best interests of his health through a customer-centric, bespoke business approach. Understand the adjacencies of your food-led business. What do I mean by adjacencies? Adjacencies are new business areas that most often build up from a company's established assets. Once a business establishes its value systems, protocols, benchmarks through a brand, it is easier to move linearly and use the same value system, protocols, and benchmarks with the product and service nearer to the original brand. That's what is adjacent. For example, it would be effortless for a brand of tandoor food items to move into an open barbecue-led Indian culinary product line. Both are adjacencies of each other. Next, advisory is collaborate towards healthy food and healthy lifestyles. Collaboration is the key to success and growth. Dear students, I come to the end of my address and have an important advisory for all of you. And what is that? You are all the future of the industry and the country. It does not matter where your destinies take you towards a career. Never forget that you are a proud Indian. You owe it to yourselves, to the food-led industry of the country, and to the country also, to work incessantly in a direction that delineates food towards a healthy lifestyle. Thereby, your future success is written now. Thank you, dear students, for listening to me. All the very best. Our relationship, yours and mine, has just begun. Feel free to connect with me. If I'm busy at a particular moment, I promise to connect back as soon as possible. To serve any of you would be my sacred duty, as always. Thank you, Chef Thiru, for inviting me to this panel discussion. Thank you, WGSHA. Thank you, faculty of WGSHA. Thank you, co-panelists. It was great to be here. I shall carry these beautiful memories for a very long time. Thank you, and happy International Chef's Day. I am through with my address, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Satvik M. Rao, a final year culinary arts student. I would now like to thank Chef for his words of wisdom and summarize his speech. Chef spoke about how Ayurveda is a complete holistic healing system and how it enhances longevity. Chef also spoke about how herbs provide permanent relief to many ailments of life. Chef spoke about the diversity of the Indian cuisine and culture and how geography, climate, soil plays a role in its evolution. Chef also recommended us to celebrate our ingredients and incorporate ancient Indian grains whenever possible. Chef also asked us to use plant-based food from Indian origin. Thank you, Chef. And now I would like to call upon Kaushal Vachani to introduce our next speaker. Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. My name is Kaushal Vachani, a final year culinary arts student. I would be introducing Chef Sri Bala today. Chef Sri Bala is a chartered accountant, company secretary, law graduate by training, and a financial consultant by profession. Chef Sri Bala is one of the significant voices of South Indian culinary history. Food has always been her passion, and she has learned the fine details of South Indian food under the guidance of her uncle. Her professional work saw her traveling through Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, where she fueled her passion by learning traditional recipes from her ancestors. She has since turned her passion into her profession. She conducted theme food promotions at various five-star properties across the country, classes in Oberoi Center of Learning and Development for chefs as well as for students, master classes in various food events. She is also a restaurant consultant. She currently hosts a television cookery show on forgotten recipes of South and is working on a thesis paper on food evolved from Sangam period. She has also currently launched her spice brand named Sri Bala. She has been awarded as the best entrepreneur by the Times of India in 2019, titled She Unlimited. Let us welcome Chef Sri Bala with a huge round of applause.
Namaste everyone. Thank you Vaksha and Chef Thiru for giving me this opportunity, and Chef Manjit Singh Gill and Chef Vijay Bhaskar. I'm sharing the dais with you. That is a big honor for me. And I'm going to talk about the food the kings gave the dignitaries during the visits by these dignitaries from different countries and within the country also, and also about the one pot meal which we are currently talking about, and talking about that as in the sense how important it is for the wellness, but it was there in our culture time immemorial. I would like to do a presentation now. I'll be sharing the screen.
Good evening, ma'am. Do you want us to share the screen?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yes. Give us a moment.
Ma'am, we can try with that same. Can you see the share button? Okay, anyway, done.
Yeah, you can do it. I'm not able to get it.
Can you see the screen, ma'am? We have shared it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. I can operate it, right? The control
we will
is
be
with me?
operate. No, we have to operate, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Should we go to the next slide?
You can go to the next screen. Basically, the Sangam period is between 300 BC to 300 AD. The time of the start and the end date is always fluctuating because the archaeologists are continuously doing their research, and either they are moving the dates backward, and in fact, the end date is also getting moved due to the KLD research recently conducted. They are saying that the Sangam period could have gone much beyond 300 AD, that is C, the Common Era. Next screen, please. In the Sangam period, if you see, the 5 landscapes were very, very important. That is, go local. What we are talking right now as go local was always part of our culture, and eat local was our theme then. Based on the topography where we were residing, our food also was based on the availability in that particular region. And the Sangam poems are, several kings were ruling during that period. All these kings had their own state poets, and these poets used to write about the culture, the ethnicity, and the food during that period. And these are all what under Ettutogai Pathupattu. Under these two, there are main things are called Agananuru and Purananuru, which comes under the Ettutogai. In Ettutogai, we can talk about Agam means within or inside, Puram means outside. So these two are the main poems which will give the culture and the food and even the valor of the kings who were present during the Sangam. And about the 5 landscapes. We will look at the 5 landscapes now. The 5 landscapes are Kurunji, Palai, Mullai, Marudam, and Neidal, based on the topography. Kurunji means mountain, Palai means dry land, Mullai means forest, Marudam means cropland, and Neidal means sea and coastal areas. So what happens is, the food what was available in this region will be consumed by the people who are residing in this area. What was the necessity for this? These food was based on their topography. If you're eating that food in that particular region, your food becomes your medicine. You don't have to go for extra medicines at all. The doctors available during that period will only treat your wounds and any major ailments. Common ailments will not be there because they'll be consuming the food what is available in that region, and that will automatically suit the body, which is a very, very important aspect which we have forgotten along the line. If we are able to at least take a portion from this and try and eat local food for that region, the region at which I am living, if I'm able to eat that food in that region, we will definitely have a healthy lifestyle. We will look at the food what was given in those landscapes. Kurunji, because it is a mountainous region, it will be the hunted animals, honey, and millets. And in Palai, which is a barren land, cactus, and any, see, in Palai, people who are highway robbers and those kind of people used to reside. So what happens is, they'll be taking the food from anybody else and eating it, because nothing grows in that particular region. Then Mullai is a forest land where maize, beans, millet. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you can carry on.
Yeah. And in Mullai, it will be maize, beans, thinai, millet, and milk, which will be easily available. Marudam is the most fertile land where rice, sugarcane, the tri-fruits, that is the mukkani, which is called ma, pala, varai, which is jackfruit, banana, and mango. And these 3 fruits were very, very important in a king's court. the foreign dignitary will be given these 3 fruits during the season because it's seasonal. Mango and jackfruit are seasonal. These 2 fruits along with banana will be given with honey to any dignitary when they first visit the king. Neithal is a sea coast, and there the food will be anything which is coming from the sea. Gruel, that is a porridge, and toddy. Toddy was in fact a part of all the 5 landscapes, but specifically in Neithal because of the fermentation process and burying it under the sand was very, very easily possible in the Neithal region. The common meats and fish which were available in that period. It was, of course, beef, then mutton, venison, quail, partridge, both are gaming birds, then rabbit, pigeon, tortoise, seafood, and in the war zones, when there were wars between the kings, the dead carcass will be the meat for the warriors. During the Sangam period, the entire eating practice was based on Ayurveda. And that we can even follow it today by trying and adapting all the 6 days in at least 1 meal of, in case we are having 3 meals a day, we can have 1 meal with all the 6 days put together. It's not that we need to have a payasam or a kheer. We can even have a small pinch of jaggery that will give you the required sweetness and all the other flavors in our food. If we are having 1 meal with all the 6 days, then our body is going to be really healthy, and our principle of your food, your medicine can be followed even during this season. That is our present generation. The food also was based on the job, because during that period, what exactly happened was, according to their job, they will determine the food, because the digestion power was also determined based on the activity we were doing. If I'm a bench person and I'm sitting in the court of, the king's court, my food will be a sadhvik food. If I'm a warrior, then my food will be a heavy protein-rich food. So based on the job I was doing, my food was determined. There are several books in this which gives about the glimpse of Sangam literature. And in Sangam literature, I always trust upon important chapters from Nilakanda Shastri. From that, if you see, he gives us a glimpse as to how the court were treating the dignitaries. And one such interesting thing is on the third picture, if you see, it's a very, very interesting thing about Karigala Cholan. In the poem also, in Sangam literature also, there is an exclusive poem called Pornaratru Padai for Karigala Cholan. We will be looking at it in the subsequent slides. But in this particular page, what Nilakanda Shastri is talking about is the way the king used to treat the dignitaries. In that, we are if you read here, the flesh of an animal cooked whole, such as pork from the pig, which was kept away from its female mate for many days and fattened for the occasion. So if a dignitary is going to come and visit the king, what they will do is they'll take pork or the beef, and they will keep the male animal from mating with the female, and in that process it fattens, because the food which is given to them, the animal gets very fat, and then that particular meat is cooked. What happens is, when they are cooking it that way, there is no requirement of additional ghee or oil which is needed. The meat cooks on its own fat. So that is how the slow cook process. See, Europe, we all read in our in other histories that Europe, many people, that is in the culinary books, that food was cooked in their own fat. We were also following that process of cooking the meat in its own fat, which is, this is a testimonial for that particular process being available in our culture much before we came to know about the European culture. This is about the King Karigala Cholan. Here again, he's talking about the way he was treating the dignitaries when they had visited his court. I had the opportunity, thanks to Chef Manjit Singh Gill, I was able to do a master class in Amritsar. I presented this particular method of cooking the meat. This is actually the thigh portion of the lamb, where the lamb is specially given a specific grass that is called the arugampil, the dhruv grass. And after that is the dhruv grass also should be twisted into ropes and it will be rested. After it has been twisted and kept, those grass was fed to the lamb and then it was taken out. The thigh part of the lamb was taken and on its own fat, it was slow cooked and subsequently put on a iron griddle and it has to fall off its bones. This exact process I did try and we did a master class in Amritsar. The way this process is, the black pepper, pipli and neem leaf is also used in this particular powder and that is applied on the thigh part of the lamb meat and we slow cook it. Subsequently, we smoke it on the iron griddle. You can go to the next slide. This again talks about the many, these books talk about how each king was treating their dignitaries. We'll skip this. We'll go to the next slide. We will come to the very important topic of one pot meal. While we say biryani, there is always a debate on whether we had our own food one pot meal or it was the Mughals who brought us the one pot meal. But from my research in the from the past history, I would like to present here that we did have our own one pot meal and there were several methods of cooking the one pot meal with the meat, with the vegetables, and of course the meat were several meats, not just the mutton or the chicken. Of course, the fowl, what we call as the chicken, came much later in the culture, but it is more about, you can mute the audio. Kindly mute the audio. No, the audio. Yeah, thanks. So here, if you see, I have presented this in one of the, I did a King's meal in ITC in 2019. I have presented this particular one pot meal, which is called the Peranjoru. Peranjoru is again from a poem in Sangam literature, where it is Udaya Cheraladan. He was a king of Kerala, that is the Chera kingdom. In that kingdom, he had a process of giving the one pot meal. There were two one pot meals which were cooked. One could be a Peranjoru. Peran in Tamil means big feast. It could be that, or the other part was called the Kutanjoru. Kutanjoru was the vegetarian version of a Peranjoru. In Peranjoru, it will be a meat, chunky part of the meat, the rice or a millet, and it will be slow cooked on its own fat with all the condiments added to it. The condiments could be pepper. Then 4 ingredients were definitely there because there is an archaeological proof that we had cardamom, we had cinnamon, and we had clove during the Sangam period. Definitely, and the poems also are giving us the proof that these were added to the food, the one pot meal. And the one pot meal will be cooked in the streets. A huge street, the big, huge pots will be brought, and a single pot will be having so much of, a huge vessel which can cook several kgs of food. And that is the day when the commoners will be given the rice. Otherwise, commoners were generally given millet. But when they win the war and after coming back from the war, it was a victory meal. The Peranjoru was a victory meal, and I had this opportunity of cooking this in ITC, and I was presenting this to the guest. Go to the next slide, please. There are several one pot meals which are given in the Sangam poem, and I'm also giving the poem number and the way it was cooked. If you see poem number 14 of Purananuru, it was the chunky meat seasoned with black pepper and sauce. Sauce means it could be the condiments which were pounded and added to it, and fragrant rice. So we also had the process of cooking the meal with the fragrant rice. It could be many fragrant rice which are coming back into our culture now, like for instance, Tuyamalli rice or Mullan Kaima rice. All these are, by nature, they have a very, very deep fragrance. So these rice have come back to our culture now. We can try and adapt these things. So that particular fragrant rice with a chunky meat piece seasoned with black pepper and sauce was cooked. This is the poem 14 of Purananuru says what was given to that particular person by the king court. The other poem is Purananuru 113. Again, a fatty goat meal cooked with white rice, spices and ghee. So we also had ghee which is getting added to the meat. So there are two processes. One is the meat getting cooked on its own fat, and also the external addition of ghee into the rice. The next one is from Sri Lanka. And if you see here, Sri Lanka also was part of the culture. When it comes to Sangam, our culture and Sri Lankan culture, that is a South Indian culture and Sri Lankan culture, were very, very similar. And there were cross marriages between the royals. So the kings, when there was a cross marriage, the cooks used to travel along the bride's place. So what happens is there was cross culture and customs exchange happened. If you see here, there was this particular poem, that is Purananuru 379, talks about short-legged boar cooked with rice, ghee, seasoned and spiced with condiments. These condiments could be those 4 condiments which were, as per the archaeological research, which could be clove, cinnamon, and cardamom, along with black pepper. Then Purananuru 395 says fragrant rice cooked with hare meat and ghee. Then there is one Malai Padikudam number 158, where of course deer meat, that is venison, was part of their culture. This again was cooked with ghee, fragrant spices. Automatically it could be the 4 spices which I was talking about. And if you see, it is not rice here, but colorful assorted millets. So millet was always part of a culture, and the commoners were given millets. And there are several other poems also which talk about the 3 different food cooked together. That is, they were kept separately, but they were presented like a garland. Like chef and all were talking about the way we present our food. In our ancient times, we were also doing plating of the food, and these different colors of millet were made into balls. So one color millet, the other color millet with the meat and different meat. So if they are doing it that way, it appeared like a garland. This particular poem says that the way the food was presented to the dignitary it was appearing like a garland with different colors. So such is the culture and valor what we were having in our past. If we are able to at least take a portion of it and bring it to our culture now, we'll be really, really happy, because our eating habits were very, very healthy in the past. And the motto was, your food, your medicine. I'm very, very happy and thankful for this opportunity to share my research with you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel Jabaraj, final year culinary arts student. I will be summarizing Chef Sri Bala's session. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Ma'am started off her session with explaining about how the time period of the Sangam literature is varied and is still being explored. She also told us about the 5 landscapes that's mentioned in literature, the scenery or landscapes, and the various foods that are local ingredients, and whatever food they eat were locals, and the medicines they practice, and there were no common ailments because of the food they ate pertaining to the land. She also mentioned about the various meats available in the landscapes, and how they had how each landscape had a different kind of meal, and the people who lived there had a different profession. Then she mentioned about the job-based food, and how it varies, and how they employ different meats during different occasions. Ma'am also mentioned about the king's feasts, like how they serve different meal for different occasions, and from whichever the regions these kings are from, they serve the meals pertaining to that area. They also used to serve this feasts, Perinjoru and Kutanjoru. Like Perinjoru is the elaborate meal which is cooked with the meat, and Kutanjoru is the vegetarian version of it. And she also mentioned about the common spices which had archaeological evidences. She also mentioned about literature pertaining to all these meals, and she also mentioned about the food being cooked in the own fat and also with the external fat. And she ended her session with plating techniques being available from the ancient archaeological evidences, and from the time we have not explored so far. Thank you so much for painting a picture of the past for us, Chef, and showing us how invaluable our literature are. Thank you so much.
Thank
Now
you.
I would
Thank you
like
for
to
this opportunity.
invite Shraddha to introduce our next speaker, Chef Ramesh Javaji.
Thank you, Samuel. I am Shraddha Rajesh, a third-year student of hotel management. It gives me great pleasure to be introducing Chef Ramesh Javaji. Chef Javaji is a senior chef mentor and a certified culinary instructor with a global experience of over 45 years. He started his career in the year 1982 when he was selected as a specialized chef by Sheraton Hotels Incorporation and Welcome Group ITC Hotels Division to the newly opened Doha Sheraton Hotel and Conference Center in Doha, Qatar. Chef went on to work with Padma Shri awardee Chef Mohammad Imtiaz to organize many successful food festivals in different parts of the world. In the year 1997, he was the executive chef at the Best Western Village Park Inn for the prestigious Winter Olympics. Chef was the senior executive chef of Cidade de Goa in Dona Paula, Goa from 1997 to 2000 and went on to become the executive chef at ITC Rajputana until 2003. Further, Chef worked as the executive chef at ITC Sonar, Kolkata, and senior executive chef at ITC Green Center, Gurgaon. Chef Javaji has been featured in various books and magazines, including the Sheraton World Cookbook. Chef is an executive committee board member of the Indian Federation of Culinary Associations and an associate of the World Association of Chefs Society. Chef received the South India Chefs Association Golden Hat Award, the highest recognition as a culinary professional, in 2004. Chef was the Director of Culinary Studies, Academy of Culinary Arts, Bangalore, and is currently a mentor at the GEMS Business School at the Royal Palace, Bangalore, for the California Heritage School of Business Administration, California, USA, in the fields of food and beverage management, bar management, food safety management, and food production and bakery management. We are very excited to have you with us and hear about your experiences, Chef. On behalf of WGSHA, I welcome you to this webinar with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was too elaborate a welcome. Okay, but one amendment, I joined the ITC Chola Sheraton in the year 1976. It doesn't make it so many big. 1982, I went there to Doha. Just a correction, because that is the right one. We have to be specific with our figures. Forgive me if I'm doing the amendment right now. Doesn't add any kudos or laurels, but I just wanted to correct that. Okay, thank you very much, Thiru, for this opportunity to be able to participate in this August gathering. And thank you, Chef Gill and Vijay Bhaskar and Chef Mathur and everybody. And thank you, Chef Thiru, for inviting us. First of all, at the outset, I can't start on a happy note, even though it's International Chef's Day, because I have to remember the late stalwart chef Soundarajan. It would not be right or apt on my behalf to be able to start off on a very happy chord or something. I know things happen, life is there, but at the same time, I remember Chef Soundarajan as I would add the three-dimensional effect to a past personality who was a colorful personality, who was 3Ds, I would say. He was dynamic, he was daring, and he was a doer. And he is a stalwart in the Indian culinary industry, I must say. And there is something that he worked hand in glove with Chef Manjeet Singh Gill, our esteemed president, whom I have had the opportunities of working in ITC Moria as number 2 to under him, even those years of 1983 when I came back from Doha to 87. And of course, Chef Soundarajan, there are so many things we interacted. He will also pick and gather wisdom, speak and collaborate and do things. And even as I was the president in 2004 of South India Culinary Association, and under the auspices of Chef Gill and Soundarajan, every year I was given the coveted award. But anyway, I'll go on with the thing, and thank you for this opportunity. But I cannot but forget about Chef Soundarajan. So with deep respects, and he is etched in our memory for so many things, for founding so many things. So with due credit and respect. Okay, this evening rather, I know I was impressed to hear about so many things, about so many and talk. Mine is more on millets and everything. But I just want to read and thing is by somebody in here only, but it really touched me. Medicine is not healthcare. Food is healthcare. Medicine is sick care. It's time we see it for what it is. So I guess healthy, eating well and doing well in a country like India, and with a president, Chef Gill, like this, who endorses Indian thing and the Indian thing, which I don't deny. I also reiterate that we can be proud Indians at that one, because the ancient wisdom and going into the future. But my talk is not only pertaining to India, but I'm speaking about millets and, So what is, basically, there are a few aspects of it. What is millet? The nutritional benefits, health benefits, then millets, and what is the regular diet and thing. I'll try and pack in as much as possible because it's getting late in the evening. All right, so we include millet as a cereal grain that belongs to the Poaceae family. It's a Poaceae family. I wish I could do a presentation, but there's no time on that one. I culled all these from different kinds of things. It's not my own. I picked all these. So I'm not an expert at this, but it's good that Chef Thiru had given this topic. It made me delve into it. And it's also Year of the Millet, International Year of the Millet. And WHO and IFCA and World Association has said that. So millet is a cereal grain that belongs to the Poaceae family, commonly known as the grass family. It's widely consumed in developing countries throughout Africa and Asia, basically. I think while it may look like a millet's nutritional profile is similar to that of sorghum and other cereals, because hitherto pearl, finger, proso, and sorghum is a popular one. Even US didn't know anything about it and until recently, and jowar and sorghum maybe a little aware, even the Western countries. And most in the African Asian countries, we really knew the value of the ancient. I would call it these millets as the pearls of the future. It could be the ancient, but there are different kinds of millets, but I would call them the pearls of the future. If used wisely and discerningly, it has got many effects. It's widely consumed in developing countries. So millet has gained popularity in the West because of its gluten-free and boasts high protein, fiber, and antioxidant contents. There's a lot of this one which I'll talk about, because nowadays we talk about scientific things and we take away and eliminate so many things. But I am an endorser to be well, we eat well and eat in a balanced manner. Moderation is the key for anything. Excess of anything is never good. That's what this article. So when I'm speaking about this, basically, we'll talk about the attributes and types of millet. So when we talk about the attributes and types of millet, it's a small round whole grain, and it's in India, Nigeria, Asian African countries, it's considered an ancient grain. That's what we talked about. Millet is an ancient grain, but now we're finding it as a pearl now because there are so many. It's used for human consumption, and livestock and bird feed also had that, so in different forms of grains. So it has multiple advantages over other crops, including drought and pest resistant. It's very resilient. That is the best part of it. It doesn't get, even biblically, they say if you're not strongly or deeply rooted in God, you'll be shaken away. So even a plant which is not properly rooted, you see everything uprooted. So if our basics are not strong, like we say, fondue cuisine in French, we say, because we do that. I'm saying like we need to know, even in our ancient Ayurveda and so many, the roots have to be strong. So unless the basics are good, the food or even the process of cooking, like even Sri Bala was speaking about, and think matters a lot. So multiple advantages over other crops because they are resilient. Resilience is important. It's also able to survive in harsh environments. I'll go a little fast so that we can cover. All millet varieties bring the Poaceae family. It's called the Poaceae family, and they differ in color appearance and also in the species they differ. The crop also divided in two categories. They are called major and minor millets, being the most popular or commonly used, like pearl millet, foxtail millet, proso or white, finger or ragi. That is very common even in Karnataka and everything. Even my grandchildren grew with that. My children grew up with that. I mean, that's nothing, but that's a very, very strong thing. I've seen many villagers use the ragi. Even now we have ragi mudda in Karnataka, which is very, very good. Minor millets include kodo, barnyard, little guinea, brown top, fonio, adley, or Jacob steers, or Job steers. But I think even in terms of that, we have jowar, which is sorghum, we call in Indian, bajra, the pearl millet, ragi or the finger millet, kora, the foxtail millet, then sama, the little millet, I think sama, wanga, the proso millet, So then we have the barnyard or the samyukta chawal. I'm sorry, I might be a little, this one, barnyard, barnyard. Then little and guinea and brown top and foro. Those are the different kinds of millets that we. Pearl millet is the most widely produced variety intended for human consumption. Still, all types are renowned for the high nutritional value and health benefits. So basically, when you summarize it, millet is a small cereal grain, belongs to the grass family, resilient in harsh environments. I spoke about it, commonly cultivated in Asia and African countries, whatever. So Asia, of course, India, and like most cereals, millet is a starchy grain. It has got starch in it, and meaning it's rich in carbs. Notably, it's also packed several vitamins and minerals. 1 cup, that is about 180, 175 grams cooked millet. The calories in that, we have about 207. Like you say, we need for a thing 1,800 to 2,200 calories and thing when you're talking in a day and whatever that. So the carbohydrates are 41 in 174 grams, and fiber is about 2.2, protein 6 grams, fat about 1.7, phosphorus about 25% of the daily value, DV, magnesium 19% of the daily value, folate 18%, and iron. So these are all such rich nutrients and things which we find in millet. They provide more essential amino acids than most other cereals. These compounds are the building blocks of protein. That's what. What's more, finger millet boasts the highest calcium content of all cereal grains, providing 13% of the daily intake or the daily value per 1 cooked cup. Calcium is necessary, we all know, for bones. Calcium to ensure bone health, blood vessel and muscular contractions, and proper nerve function. Then we are also talking about millet is a starchy, protein-rich grain. It provides plenty of phosphorus and also magnesium. And finger millet packs more calcium than any other cereal. Finger millets, that's it. So when you look at that, so finger millet, the kora, the finger foxtail is that one. Okay, then wanga and jowar. Fine, that's not. Let's not go. So millet is a starchy protein which is rich grain, plenty of phosphorus, magnesium, and the finger millet packs more calcium than any other cereal. Benefits is rich in nutrients and plant compounds. We're talking about, not animal. It may offer multiple health benefits. They're rich in antioxidants. Millet is rich in phenolic compounds, especially ferulic acid and catechins. I also learned about this because these molecules act as antioxidants to protect your body from harmful oxidative stress. They form as antioxidant. So studies in mice, they always tested with mice, linked ferulic acid to rapid wound healing, skin protection, anti-inflammatory properties. Meanwhile, catechins bind to heavy metals in our bloodstream to prevent metal poisoning. And while all millet varieties contain antioxidants, those with a darker color will, such as finger, proso, and foxtail millet, have more than the white or yellow counterpart. May help. It is also not, you cannot say, when you say heart healthy, one of our doctors in IDC, I forget his name, okay, Dr. Khan, he would always say, don't endorse heart healthy or wellness, or even Chef Gill used to say, because you can't completely say that it is this one, but it helps. So it helps blood sugar levels. Millet is rich in fiber, non-starchy polysaccharides. Two types are undigestible carbs that help control blood sugar levels. This is very important in this. So this cereal also helps a low glycemic. We talk about GI index. The world talks about glycemic index, GI, meaning that's usually unlikely to spike your blood sugar levels. Thus, millets are considered an ideal grain for people with diabetes. So it is really ideal. For instance, a study in about 100 odd people with type 2 diabetes determined replacing a rice-based breakfast with a millet-based one, lowered blood sugar after the meal. A 12-week study in about 60 odd people with pre-diabetes gave similar results. After eating 1/3 cup of foxtail millet per day, they experienced, that is about 50 grams, a slight reduction in fasting and post-meal blood sugar levels, as well decrease in insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a marker for type 2 diabetes. It occurs when your body stops responding to the hormone insulin, and it helps regulate blood sugar. We all nowadays talk so much about medicinal things. That's why I said that it is more the medicine is not healthcare, food is healthcare. So our food is important. Medicine is sick care. It's time we see. That's what I'm trying to endorse here. And about ancient thing and going in future for healthy foods. They help lower cholesterol. Millets contain soluble fiber, produces a viscous substance in your gut. This in turn traps fats and helps reduce cholesterol levels. One study in 24 rats found that those foxtail and proso millet significantly reduced triglyceride levels compared with the control group. Additionally, millet may help lower cholesterol. A study in mice with 2 diabetes fed them a high-fat diet with millet protein content. This led to a decrease in triglyceride levels, significant increase in adenopectin and HDL, good cholesterol, because we read in all our medical tests, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, liver, and all those things. So cholesterol levels compared to the control. Adenopectin is a hormone with anti-inflammatory effect that supports heart health. That means it stimulates fatty acid oxidation. Its levels are usually lower in people with obesity and type 2 diabetes. Then it also fits a gluten-free diet. Millet is gluten-free grain, making it a viable choice for people with celiac disease or those following a gluten-free diet. Gluten is a protein that occurs naturally in grains. That's the best part, like wheat, barley, and rye. Wheat is good. Coarse wheat is good. Even dalia we speak about. We use that in Indian cuisine, so much of it. So people with celiac disease or gluten intolerance must avoid it because it triggers harmful digestive symptoms such as diarrhea and nutrient malabsorption. When shopping for millet, one should look for a label that certifies as gluten-free, meaning here in India, yeah, also, but when you're looking at it, that gluten-free is important, containing it so that it's not contaminated with all these genetically modified things. The potential downside, we also talked about millets. Downside is that despite millets' multiple health benefits, it also contains anti-nutrients, compounds that block or reduce a body's absorption of other nutrients and may lead to deficiencies. One of these compounds, phytic acid, interferes with potassium, calcium, iron, zinc, and magnesium uptake. However, a person with a balanced diet isn't likely to experience the adverse effects. So again, we are coming back to healthy food and balanced food in moderation. So other anti-nutrients called goitrogenic polyphenol, even I think others for, may impair thyroid function, causing goiter, an enlargement of your thyroid gland that results in neck swelling. Nevertheless, this effect is associated only with excess polyphenol intake. For example, one study determines that more prevalent when millet provides 74% of daily calories compared if you take a double dose, that is 37. Furthermore, you can lower millet's anti-nutrient content significantly. The millet thing, if you soak it overnight and at room temperature and drain it and rinse it, the nutrients don't go off. It helps the anti-nutrient. So the sprouting reduces so you can sprout. When you sprout it like sprouts and things, you can anti-nutrient content. Certain health food stores sell sprouted millet. That is, they talk about Western. Even here, I think India, but we get more fresh here to do so. So turn the jar upside down. So how to prepare and eat millet is a versatile ingredient. In India, you can do it in many ways. You can make a khichdi, you can make a bath, you can make it into cakes. You can even, I would also say, if you're going to a Western dish, also you can make it like into a croquet. Like you can use the rice or a broken wheat and things with it, and water or broth. You bring it to boil and simmer it. Then you soak it overnight. Millet is also sold as flour. You get it as flour form. That suggests making baked goods with millet flour. The nutritional profile. Additionally, the grain is processed to make snacks. You can even make pasta with the millet if you want to do a Western thing. A non-dairy probiotic beverage. In fact, fermented millet acts as a natural probiotic. Fermented millet, like we are talking about so many, things. So we get so many health drinks nowadays. You can enjoy millet as a breakfast porridge or gruel porridge. You can add, nuts and things to it. Add as a cookie or a cake ingredient. So millet is not only available as whole grain, but also as flour. You can use it as a variety of dishes, including porridge and salad. So millet is basically a whole grain that's packed with protein, antioxidants, and nutrients. It may have numerous health benefits, helping lower your blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Plus, it's gluten-free, making excellent choice for people who have celiac disease or a gluten-free diet. People say gluten-free nowadays because you know that allergens are there. You have eggs, you have fish, you have soya, you have sulfites, added sulfites, you have flour, and seafood products, and all these eggs, and we have allergens we have like that. So even the added sulfites and things like that. So your gluten-free diet, its nutty taste and versatility makes it well worth what it is. So that is what basically we have about millets, but I don't think we can look at a little bit of the some glaring side effects also. Basically, not necessarily. We can look at the health benefits. If you really look at some of the millets thing, is one of the oldest cultivated grains in the world. It's been grown throughout Africa and Southeast Asia thousands of years. That's why it makes it ancient. Millet can be used to make bread, beer, cereal, other dishes, or gruel, or porridge, or bath, or whatever it is. It's a staple food around the world. In fact, millet is gaining renewed popularity because of how versatile and easy to grow it is. You can find millet in pearl, finger, perso, and sorghum varieties throughout. You can look at the Western countries too. Now they started using, which hitherto they're looking towards India. Chef Gill was speaking about it. We are the stalwarts for so many things, but they're looking at garlic, they're looking at ginger, they're looking at turmeric, they're looking at our herbs, which hitherto, and they look at our chicken tikka, everything. So they're looking at us, which was hitherto we said we were novices or we didn't know about food. Like Chef was saying about French food and everything, the quality of thing. Everybody, kurkuma, turmeric is again the turmeric only. So so we can find millet in pearl, finger, and other things, and similar health benefit. Millet is rich in niacin also, which has more than 400 enzymes. I think it's also important for healthy skin and organ. And I know I'm running out of time. It also controls blood sugar, so that making it a low glycemic index. It improves digestive health, and because of the insoluble fiber. And colon cancer it prevents. It protects your heart because it is called bad. It reduces bad cholesterol. So atherosclerosis, soluble fiber is turned into a gel. And millet is rich in potassium and also health and kidney and heart function. It plays a role in nerve signal transfer, that is your brain and your muscles. And vitamin A, B, phosphorus, potassium, antioxidant, niacin, calcium, iron, and nutrients. So I guess I will stop in here. There is much more to be added in this one. It's a great opportunity that we can capitalize on this, even in our hospitality industry. As Chef Gill was speaking about, people want to know more about food. So it can grow it healthy, and it is non-adulterated, and we can use it in its purest form. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Aditya Karnik, a final year culinary arts student. Chef, for the confusion in the dates earlier. It was it was wonderful to hear from you. And now I'd like to summarize your talk. Chef spoke about how Chef Sonia Rajan was important in his life and how we will remember him as a fond memory. And Chef spoke about how the millet, it's the ear of the millet, which belongs to the poisey or the grass family and popularly grown in the African and Asian continent. Chef spoke about how the millets are the pearls of the future, even though they are ancient. And Chef talked about how millets are important to the balanced diet and how they can affect each and every part of our body. Thank you for sharing your knowledge on the forgotten millets, Chef. It was a pleasure listening to you. Now I'd like Abhigna to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Anushruti. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am Abhigna Kashyap from third year hotel management, and it is my honor to introduce Ms. Anushruti. Ms. Anushruti is a Mumbai-based food writer, food presenter, recipe developer, health and well-being consultant, and a photographer as well. She's also a nutrition expert and loves to combine modern nutrition with the age-old science of Ayurveda. Ms. Anushruti is the creator and author of the popular website www.divinetaste.com, which has a wide following from around the world and a loyal readership from more than 150 countries around the globe. Ms. Anushruti has a postgraduate degree in nutrition and dietetics and has studied Ayurveda Ahar Vignan from International Academy of Ayurveda, Pune. All of ma'am's recipes are based on the Sattvic principles of eating as enjoined by the ancient Vedic literatures in India, with a special focus on the nutritional aspects of food. Some of her clients include BBC Good Food India, Tata Sampann, MTR, Child, ADF Soul, 24 Mantra Organic, and Fortune Foods. Ms. Anushruti was invited as a speaker to host a demo talk by the Embassy of India in Mexico under the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Ma'am has been awarded as one of the most influential food industry professionals at the Asia Food Congress and Awards 2020. She has also been featured in the Wall Street Journal blog, BBC Good Food, other important websites, publications, radio, and television. Ma'am has also hosted popular digital cooking shows, Divine Taste with Anushruti and Kiddies Corner with Anushruti on Rajshri Entertainment, India's leading entertainment studio. You can find Ma'am on Prime Video as well with the show named Divine Taste with Anushruti. Ma'am is currently working on a book published by one of the top publishers as well. On behalf of WGSHA, I welcome you with a round of applause, ma'am.
Screen is frozen, yeah. Hello. Firstly, I would like to thank Chef Thiru and WGSHA for having me over today. And it is indeed a pleasure and an absolute honor to be with the legendary chef Manjeet Singh Gill, Chef Vijaya Bhaskaran, and all the other esteemed panel members. Ever since the pandemic began, studies have shown that there has been a rise in interest in all things related to health and well-being. So what we can see is that people are interested in building their health, and they want to know how to build their immunity and all the other factors contributing to it. Now, when it comes to students, whether it's on-site learning or online learning, they're always battling with things like low concentration, low energy, and add to it lifestyle diseases like diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, which we see today. Diet and lifestyle factors are largely attributed to these diseases, which brings me to the famous Michael Pollan quote. Michael Pollan, who is one of the greatest American food writers that we have today. Many of you might be aware of this quote as well. He said that don't eat anything which our grandmother didn't recognize as food. Now, if you go to see earlier in a traditional Indian family, it was always a woman who decided the menu for the day, be it the grandmother, the mother, or the lady in charge. They always took into account the likes and dislikes of all the family members, and they chose fresh, seasonal, and local ingredients and prepared the meal with love. And this led to a lot of well-being for everyone. But if you go to see the present scenario, we have so much of access to information. Information is available at the tip of our fingers, and Facebook groups and Google tells us what we should be eating and what we shouldn't be eating. So this brings us to the science of Ayurveda, which many other panel members today have also touched upon. Ayurveda is the oldest and most comprehensive science of healing known to mankind, dating back to more than 5,000 years. And what makes this special is that the laws are universal, which means it is applicable for everyone, for people across all continents, irrespective of religion, race, gender, and nationality. And that's what makes Ayurveda so special and so relevant even to this day. One of the best aspects of Ayurvedic cooking is that it helps us to look at food as medicine by incorporating healing and nourishing ingredients in our diet. And, again, the very popular quote by Hippocrates, who said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food," is very applicable here. Ayurveda classifies food into sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic categories. I specialize in sattvic food, and sattvic food is something which is always freshly made with love, using ingredients like grains, legumes, greens, fresh fruits, vegetables, dried fruits, milk, and milk products. So one of the aspects of Ayurvedic cooking is that, when if you cook with love, it increases prana, or positive energy. And likewise, if you cook, if you're upset, then it decreases the positive energy in the body. Chef Manjit Singhal spoke a lot about seasonal produce, and he spoke about associating with farmers, and this made me reflect about gratitude, which is another aspect of the Sattvic food philosophy. We all know that, even to put a simple meal on the table, it requires so many attributes, so many people. There's a food chain, food system involved, and then in getting the ingredients to us, and then the actual process of preparation. So many hands go into it. So when we express gratitude for all these multiple factors that go into just one plate of our meal, it just increases the positivity in us, and it promotes our sense of well-being as well. Now, Sattvic food is also largely plant-based, and a plant-based diet is rich in bioactive components. And bioactive components, like phenolic compounds, lignans, anthocyanins, all these bioactive components, they're rich in antioxidants, and they also have anti-aging, antibiotic, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory properties, and this leads to a lot of well-being. And I must speak about the spices. Our country is rich in so many spices. We have turmeric, we have ginger, we have coriander seeds, cumin seeds. All these are simple everyday spices, and you can see that these spices are not used anywhere in any other cuisine in the world, and these spices are loaded with healing properties. And apart from giving taste, apart from enhancing the taste in a dish, they have a lot of healing properties as well. Just went off screen, sorry for that. Yes, so coming back to spices. So it really helps when we stick to our traditional diet, incorporating fresh seasonal local ingredients and using spices that are available to us. Now, Ayurveda also speaks about three important benefits of Sattvic food. One is prana. So Sattvic food is known to enhance prana, which is positive energy. And it is also known to enhance tejas, which is intelligence, and ojas, which is responsible for our overall health and immunity. And I'm sure all of you would agree with me that although all these factors are very important for us, they're very, very important for students. So this explains its relevance as well. Before I conclude, I would like to leave you all with a thought that as human beings, we are blessed with the ability to choose which sets us apart from animals. So it only makes sense to choose our foods wisely. And my appeal to all of you present today would be to look at food as something that, along with satisfying our taste buds, also nourishes us and is responsible for our overall well-being. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Generous with your knowledge. I am sure this talk has been truly a stepping stone for us to further our learnings about Ayurveda. Good evening, I'm Sai Motapalli Nayar, a third-year culinary arts student, and I will be summarizing Ms. Anushruti's speech. Ma'am said the focus has moved to health and well-being. Students specifically can benefit from boosting their immunity to prevent several lifestyle diseases. The laws of Ayurveda are universal and applicable to everybody across the globe. Ma'am mentioned the classification of food in Ayurveda as Sattvic, Tamasic, and Rajasic. She highlighted gratitude as a principle of preparing Sattvic food to increase the positivity derived from it. Ma'am said that Ayurvedic foods are by nature rich in bioactive components and that it is best to stick to a traditional diet full of fresh, seasonal, and local produce. Ma'am advised us to choose our foods wisely as we are blessed with the ability of choice. I now request Samuel Akade to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Ashish Chopra.
Thank you, Sai. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Samuel Akade, third-year culinary arts student, take pride in introducing our next speaker of the day, Dr. Ashish Chopra. Dr. Ashish Chopra is a connoisseur of the good things in life, and life has been very generous to him. He wears many hats, starting with a stint as a politician. After studying conflict resolution, he participated in various initiatives supported by the United Nations. He is a travel writer and a television host, a painter and an art collector. Above all, Dr. Chopra is a passionate and obsessed foodie and an expert in the Northeast cuisine and culture. Food for him is an art form, an anthropological tool to analyze human evolution. Dr. Chopra is a culinary historian of a certain repute, belonging to a distinguished Punjabi family of academics. Both his father and grandfather were vice chancellors of universities. As for himself, he says he is a born foodie and adds, being the son of an anthropologist, I was always fascinated by the stories of cuisines and their cultures. The one significant aspect that distinguishes mankind from the rest of the animal kingdom, he says, is that the former can cook. I would now like to invite Dr. Chopra, our next speaker, to share his immense knowledge with us. Let us welcome Dr. Chopra with a huge round of applause.
Namaskar. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you on this wonderful occasion of the International Chef's Day. We have old stalwarts whom I respect and admire, Chef Manjit Gill, Chef Bhaskar, Chef Thiru, and the distinguished panel of speakers whom I've heard. And I'm very happy to understand and also gain the knowledge and the depth of the culinary expertise that they have shared. I would talk of having traveled pan-India and documented over 400 tribes of India, with my new book coming out next month, which is being published by Penguins, and this is called The Tribal Cuisines of India, which covers almost the traditions and the customs and the cuisines of 350 tribes of India. But I would sort of refrain from speaking about that primarily, but I would be speaking on the tribes and the region that I love the most, and that is the Northeast India. Northeast India is home to 8 distinct states with a population of almost 5 crores now, and also home to about 100 odd tribes. Each tribe has its own customs and each tribe has its own tradition. And we all know that because the tribes are those forest dwellers who live in harmony with nature, who value nature, who respect nature, because nature gives them a lot, especially the forest that gives them a lot. So when I was documenting my first book called Any Belly, which was on the cuisines of the 8 northeastern states, I had the wonderful opportunity to travel to every nook and corner of the Northeast region, cover almost 2,000 plus villages, 87 districts, and interact with various tribal communities. The region has given me much, and I've learned in plenty from them. And they've also taught me how you can live so beautifully in harmony with nature. But alas, as things stand today, nature has taken a backseat, unfortunately, because of not for the human need, but more so for the human greed. And forest cover has come down. Northeast is home to over 100 medicinal plants. The region of Northeast India, feasting is an integral part of their culture. And it's also very much a part of our own culture. So when you are born, there's a feast. When you achieve something, the first birthday or whatever, and modern times, there's a feast. When you pass out, there's a celebration, there's a feast. When you remember your ancestors, there's a feast. When you think of God in the name of the Lord and the God, there's also a feast, whether it's Thanksgiving or whether it's Langar or whatever it is. So feasting is, I personally feel, a global phenomenon. And that is a very much integral part of the tribals. Primarily, I know of the tribes of India. So everything they do, whether this, what the clothes they wear, they dance, they fare. Now, I have had the opportunity to learn the art of cooking from the Northeast people, because I'm not a qualified chef. I don't hold a chef's degree, but I'm a passionate cook who has been cooking food since the age of 6 or 7. And I've had multiple adventures and misadventures because of food, and that has held me very much in happiness and joy. We will start with the various states of Northeast India. The time is too short. I can go on and on the regional cuisine, but I will give you sort of a general overview of the Northeastern food that is there. And I'm also grateful to Chef Gill, others, because at his behest, I worked in setting up and curating a special menu, and wonderful job that the ITC had done, because that was the first chain which introduced Northeastern cuisine at the property in Kolkata, at the ITC Royal Bengal. And to date, it is running very, very successfully, and people have been raving about that food. That speaks volumes of the flavors. That speaks volumes of the appreciation that the people of Kolkata are now beginning to have as far as Northeastern cuisine is concerned. The state of Assam is home to about 20 odd tribes, about 18, 19 tribes, and multiple communities, because and fantastic diversion in terms of religion, in terms of various practices, and external, and also a lot of external influences that came about in the state of Assam. Assam is home to one of the prime communities called the Singphos, who introduced tea to the British. The Singphos specialize in the art of barbecuing. And not only do that, they also specialize in the art of marination, which very few people in the world could ever have seen, because I think a lot of messages, a lot of chefs, my suggestion is, you must do a tour of the Northeast to see how they treat their meats also, and how their process of marination is absolutely fantastic. Not only that, but also the indigenous non-vegetarian food is also very primarily being used in the right perspective. A normal balanced Northeast diet primarily is from 2 meals a day, because they will have breakfast in the morning, which would consist of rice with a heavy meal. Because it was a rural-centric area, they would go to the fields and till and work. And then, because the time difference is quite a bit as compared to mainland India, it gets dark very early as compared to the rest of the country. They would eat their second meal around 8 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, or 4 o'clock. In between, they only used to snack once in a while. And those snacks were something like corn, and because there are almost about 40 varieties of corn. Northeast grows almost 300 varieties of rice. And of course, the black rice is very popular from there. It's Manipur, but Assam has been ignored. There's a new variety of rice that comes from there. It's called the Upendra. And Upendra is extremely aromatic, extremely healthy, and it's also full of zinc, and it's great, and it contains a lot of iron, so it's very, very healthy, and it's a great meal. And that is also one of the major rices that actually go into the various forms of desserts. Now, in the Northeast region, primarily other than Assam, there's very little concept of desserts. They don't take too many desserts, but there are 2 square meals. The simple meal consists of a meat dish, and there's other dish. The side dish is a balanced dish of vegetables, which are boiled, and lots of greens they have. There's a special festival in Assam called Kati Bihu now, which is coming up very shortly. They make a special dish out of 101 herbs, which is collected from various parts of the region. Tribals also love their drinking. Any tribe you go to, alcohol is also an integral part of their joyous celebration and their joyous celebration of life more than anything else. So there's a lot of emphasis on fermented foods, be it alcohol, be it bamboo shoot, anything that forest gives is being utilized in the right perspective. So recently, sometime back, they eat a whole lot of other interesting things. Like, for example, they make a rare dish which the tribals make, which is very rich in protein. It's the red ant chutney, which also you will find the Mundas and the Oraos of Jharkhand who make that. Odisha it's also used. And it's a very popular so-called delicacy, which is made during a special season. They also have, for example, the Nagas, which is a home to 17 odd tribes, and each tribe has its own customary cuisine. The use of rice, meat, and pork is their favorite meal, which they love very much, because I think pork has also been said. They use a lot of pork fat in their food, so that's the natural form, because there's minimalistic use of oil in most of the Northeastern cuisine. They use pork fat too for their cooking, but they balance it very beautifully with a lot of fiber, and that is primarily boiled vegetables with coincide and everything. Loads of herbs and greens will also go. Their emphasis is also on chutneys. They don't use an amalgamation of masalas. They also normally add standalone masalas in their dishes. Northeast is also home to excellent amount of various aromatic plants. There are almost 1,000 plus known medicinal plants in the Northeast region, and Northeast is also very fortunate to, out of the world's 12 biodiverse hotspots, 5 of them are in the Northeast region. So you can imagine how much nature has given the region so beautifully. I remember one incident while I had gone to Arunachal Pradesh, and there's a national park in a district called Tiruppanchangalam called the Namdapha National Park, where I was documenting the culture and tradition of the Lishu tribes. And Lishus are one of the extinct Arunachali communities which stay in the interiors of the Namdapha National Park. And Namdapha National Park is the world's only biodiverse hotspot where you get 4 of the feline family. It borders Myanmar on one side. And while I was walking in the, that's also home to elephant leeches, which is quite extraordinary, but they put those also to good use. While we were, obviously when there's a reverend guest who goes there, there's always a feasting, and feasting happens when you're cooking. And then you have to dance around and, to be part of them. And you have to be almost behaving like them because they are very sensitive when it comes to feeding people. It was an amazing experience. Bad initially, but after that, very overwhelming at a later stage, because while they were cooking and they were boiling meat in a bowl, it was a huge cold room of almost about 20 odd kilos, and that actually fell on my feet because I sort of missed my step and there was fire going on. And when that happened, I burnt my feet very badly. But lo and behold, these tribals knew what was happening. They went to the jungles. I was in the midst of the jungle. They went there and collected all the herbs, certain herbs, sort of mashed them, put them together, and then they applied it on my feet for 3-4 days. And then the 6th or 7th day, not only as I was walking, the scars had also almost vanished. Such is the indigenous knowledge of these people, which we in the rest of India or anywhere else in the world have not documented or respected. Now, in hospitals and other things, there are no hospitals there. Healthcare is very little. But they suffer from a human body. It's natural that I have to suffer from some ailment or the other. But for every ailment, they have some herb which cures them. And that forms an integral part of their food. The use of Brahmi is and where they make saag out of it. Is very popular in the Northeast region. The use of multiple things, multiple mushrooms they use. The use of yam, use of jackfruit is very famous and popular there. And that's, as in South, it's very common and popular. Same in the Northeast region, it's already very common and popular. The best ginger comes from a certain area of Nagaland, which is like a combination of the ginseng and the ginger, and it's absolutely tastes amazing. It's very unique, and it's Northeast region because of its fertility has, it's a great the growth of flowers, the growth of herbs, and the growth of fruits is in plenty. So you will find a lot of local fruits which are found in certain southeast parts of India, but southeast part of the world, but not so much in the mainland India. Now, these are things which need to be documented because they are our national pride and they need to be shared with mainstream India. And that is why the things are coming up in the right perspective. And also, it's very important for all the upcoming chefs to know and understand how much herbs, how many medicinal plants, what is the benefit of what is for them, because they can use in their cookings at the later stage and not only make their meals absolutely fabulous and delicious, but also extremely healthy. And that is the need of the hour. So, and that is why a lot of food festivals are happening in India, which are based on somewhat tribal cuisines and regional cuisines. I'm quite a fan of Shri Bala because I admire her in-depth knowledge of the cuisine that she does. I've studied her cuisine very closely. There are many others like her or many other people who are actually working towards developing the regional cuisine, which are forgotten rather to a large extent and which have not reached the forefront in the world. So what is happening is we are getting and we are emulating the West and other parts of the world and getting food from there, learning lessons, of course. But, our current youth is completely involved in eating junk food and stuff like that. But they do not realize that there's so much of wealth within their own grounds. And that is what they need to be trained and taught with. And that is why Chef Gill has been doing an amazing job in helping and encouraging others to document foods like that. And he has inspired many, including me, to do some amazing work, which I feel is wonderful. And this is how we need to look into culturally, agriculturally, and also gastronomically, because I think we have to balance all these things in the right perspective. Only then we will be able to showcase. Many Northeast festivals have been held in various parts. Earlier, the myth was, what these people of Northeast, what are they eating? They eat animals, they eat this, they're, but they did not understand because there was a lack of knowledge. They were not told what is important, how it is. During the first stage of Corona, there were minimum cases of Corona that happened in the Northeast region. You know why? Because of the resilience in the diet that they were taking. When the second wave happened, post that, because why it happened, it increased a little bit over there, not for any other reason, not because of the local inhabitants, residents, because the people who came from outside, or the local Northeasterners who had gone outside the Northeast region to work for a living, as things were opening up, went back. Along with them, of course, they took certain viruses with them, and that sort of spread, unfortunately. But the fatality rate is very, very low in the region as compared to the rest of the places, is only primarily because everything is a very balanced meal. Everything is partially raw. Most of the food that they eat is not overcooked. It's comparatively very healthy. And you must, all of you, I personally, especially my message to the youngsters is, study the Northeast region. Understand the cuisine. You will gain much and benefit a lot. Time is very short. I can go on and speak about this, but I think I will refrain currently, and I thank you all, and I'm done speaking. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chopra. That was a really insightful talk. And my name is Arvind Siddhartha, and I will be summarizing Dr. Ashish Chopra's speech. Dr. Chopra spoke about how feasts are primary part of tribal communities of the Northeast, and how Assam is home of 20 odd tribes and how diverse their communities are. Dr. Chopra also spoke about the 300 varieties of rice available in the Northeast and the nutrition benefits of the black rice. The tribal and the importance of fermented food in the tribal communities. Dr. Chopra spoke about the importance of documenting the tribal communities and their habits for the mainstream audience of India, and the resilience of Northeast India to coronavirus due to the dietary habits. And I will be handing over to Mayuri.
Thank you, Arvind. Due to time constraint, we will be skipping the online Q&A session. The questions will be emailed to the panelists and their responses will be shared with the students. We apologize for the inconvenience. I now request Nupur to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening. I would like to extend my vote of thanks on behalf of Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration. I would like to thank Manipal Academy of Higher Education as well as ITC Welcome Group for providing us with the opportunity to undertake this incredible International Chef's Day session. Along with this, I would like to thank our chief guest, Chef Manjeet Singh Gill, President, Indian Federation of Culinary Association, for his insights. I would like to thank our guest of honor, Chef Vijay Rabhaskaran, General Secretary, Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, for his wise words. A heartfelt gratitude to CA Sujata Shukla, Chartered Accountant, Chronicler, and the author. I would like to thank Chef Yaduvansh Bahadur Mathur, Executive Director, Institute of Culinary Economics. Our gratitude to Chef Sri Bala, author and guest chef, Chennai.
I would like to extend my gratitude to Ms. Anushruti, food writer and health and welfare consultant. A sincere thanks to Chef Ramesh Javaji, Senior Chef Mentor, Shalom. I would also like to thank Dr. Ashish Chopra, travel host, writer, television host, painter, and an anthropologist. Thank you for joining us today in this wonderful session. We are privileged to be interacting and learning from various industry experts. Thank you, Chef Thiru, for this International Chef's Day session and the knowledge we've attained from it. We thank the Vice Principal, Mr. Raj Shekhar, and our esteemed faculty members. Our deepest gratitude to the organizing team, Chef Vasant Segamani, Chef Nitish Damodar, and Chef Sudhakar Nair for their support. I would also like to thank Chef Raghavendra and the audiovisual team for helping us conduct this webinar smoothly. Thank you, my dear colleagues, for introducing us to the speakers and summarizing their speeches. I would also like to thank our students. I would also like to thank Mayuri Reddy for the wonderful Master of Ceremonies. Finally, I would like to thank our dear students for being a patient audience. I hope you have a great day ahead. This is Nupur Sibu signing off from the World Chef's Day.